Hello and welcome everybody to ProJuice Live. Today is Tuesday. I'm the one who's not muted.
I wasn't muted. I was letting you go.
No, no,
I was
no.
just smiling
I'm
at the
not muted
camera.
this time, Mike. It's a rarity. It's a
Oh
rare
wow.
find.
We started and all three are ready to go.
How about that?
Mike, when'd you get those cute glasses?
A couple of weeks ago. I
Everyone's
had them
picking
last
up
time,
on
didn't
Maybe.
No, you had them
Or
Thursday.
Oh, it
It
was
might have
just
been
during
Thursday.
Alex's stream.
Thursday.
Yeah, yeah.
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 You like them?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about those later.
I'm
Oh,
self-conscious
okay.
about it. I
Okay.
need
I like
lots
them
of
a lot.
compliments.
I'm actually thinking about getting some of those eye strain glasses that don't have yellow tint.
Oh yeah, like those God, the Gunners?
I can't remember what the name of the brand is, but
Alex has
they
Gunners.
look like designer glasses now. Like they look like your standard everyday
Yeah, it's like
sexy Mike glasses.
are those like gamer glasses, right?
Gunners are, yeah.
Gunners are, but yeah, the new ones aren't. They don't look like that.
Oh, okay.
They look like what you're wearing, just like regular eyeglasses.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they help. It helps when your eyes don't hurt.
Don't
If I
you
could give you that advice.
don't you guys get mad when the sale you when you go to get new glasses and you get you get your eye prescription or whatever, and like the doctor's so friendly and all this stuff, and then talking to the salesperson is like the most disingenuous thing, where it's
Yes.
like you're looking at a pair of glasses and they're like, "Oh, how about these?" And it's like, "How about you stop fucking handing me glasses and I pick out what glasses I want on my own face?" And then like you sit
I
down
will
and then,
tell you which ones I want an opinion on.
right, exactly. And then they try to like fucking upsell you on like the lenses. They're like, "Well, this one blocks blue light, which people say causes headaches. If you're
Yeah.
fatigued with driving." I'm like, that's everyone every day. Like, it doesn't matter what
I
fucking glasses you're wearing.
I didn't have that exact experience. I went to Warby Parker, and it was this like small Manhattan corner store, but they had like it was packed with workers, dude. There was like 7 of them, and it was like smaller than my apartment. It was not a big store, and each of them individually had come up to me and asked me if I needed any help. But every time I said no, I'm just thinking about what I want. Like none of them tried to sell me on anything,
Yeah.
which I was appreciative of.
Yeah, no, that's every time I get new glasses, which I mean obviously isn't very common, but every time there's some new fucking hot technology lens that's coming out that's like $150 more than the glasses themselves, and it's like, hey,
Yeah, man.
why don't you wrap my fucking dick around your eyeballs and wear those as a pair of glasses, you idiot?
Well,
You know what I
you're
mean?
the one,
Blue light though.
you're
That's
the
you
one
know what I
who
mean?
needs the glasses.
Fuck them, man. Get Google glasses. I'd just look at pictures of myself all day. It'd be a problem.
Uh, I really want to try those. I'm so curious, just because it feels like that'll feel like the future.
Yeah.
The thought that feels like the thought of it feels like that's what it'll feel like.
Tom, what are you drinking tonight?
Chat is going kind of crazy over there.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah, yeah.
blowing. They're blowing bubbles. They're blowing each other.
They want to
I'm
know if you're drinking piss.
Yeah,
So if you are part of our Discord, which I'm sure everyone that's watching us right now is, we are also streaming live on Mixer. So say hi to our 0 of our Mixer friends.
I mean, I'm watching on there. I'm following.
There you go. Hey, why don't you know what?
Say hi to me. Come
Watch on Twitch. Watch on Mixer. Get that XP up.
on. Get some
Either way.
sparks.
Either way, we're trying to spread our diseased, long salad fingers, across the world.
What does that stem from? What
website
is
at a
salad fingers?
It's
Finger.
a Newgrounds cartoon
Yeah, very
by
old.
Adam.
Like-
What is it? Adam Firth or something? Dan Firth.
I don't. I feel like I've seen it, but I have just no memory of it.
It was back when I don't know. It was considered creepy back then, but yeah, Rusty Spoons, exactly.
Rusty spoons. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the
Is
old
that
days.
supposed to explain it? Is that it?
No, well,
That's all you have
so
to say about
it's just some weird guy animated it, and it's just a weird character, and he like whispers all the time. He's like a creep. He's like a monster that would come into Courage the Cowardly Dog, you know, How like some of the
Oh,
villains
okay.
in Courage the
Yeah,
Cowardly
yeah.
Dog like actually frighten you, and you're like, whoa.
Right.
If you watched Salad Fingers as a kid and you didn't quite understand what was going on, it would probably scare the shit out of you. But he just loved touching like rusty spoons, and his neck like fucking. He'd like rusty spoons, and then
He
his
liked to
neck would
touch-
like
he liked to
fucking
touch
shake.
it
Yeah,
with
he
his
liked to
salad
touch.
fingers, man.
Yeah, he had salad fingers, Mike. He had salad for fingers,
Yeah, yeah, I get
and
it.
it felt good
Trust
when he
me,
touched
I'm-
rusty spoons.
So, yeah, it's a
Ain't
required
nothing
viewing.
wrong with that.
You learn a lot
Uh,
about yourself watching Salad Fingers.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out tonight.
Yeah, exactly,
Um,
Olivia. This is weird.
For those of you guys asking in the chat, Mixer is another streaming platform. It is a Twitch competitor, and you might have heard about it in the news recently, but probably not because you're not a loser like I am. That Ninja got signed onto an exclusive contract with them,
Mm-hmm.
so they're about to blow up real big.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're riding that train.
Yeah.
We're riding Ninja's coattails right now.
Right.
If you go to Mixer, we're blowing up.
It's pretty sad that I didn't even realize that you could watch Mixer outside of Xbox. I thought Mixer was just that thing that people stream on Xbox with.
Wasn't
Oh, yeah,
that
it's
the
got its
case
own
for a little
platform.
bit? When it first came out, wasn't that the case?
No. It
Oh.
always had a web. Because it was first. It was Beam.
Yeah,
and
Beam,
Microsoft just
right,
bought it out
yeah.
and rebranded it,
Right.
and then built it built it into Xbox.
Yeah, Ninja was trying to show porn to kids.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got to stop doing that. I tried to talk to him about that, dude.
Did you guys hear about that though?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened? I just saw the headlines. I didn't read the article. How did this happen?
So on his channel that's not there, they still run ads on it if you go to the channel. So like when you go to any Twitch channel, they run an ad, for like 30 seconds.
Sure.
Apparently
For
they
porn?
ran a Pornhub ad on his Twitch.
Yeah,
That's a hell of a mistake.
Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake cuz first of all, why is that even there in the first place?
That wasn't an accident.
Exactly. That's what
That
yeah.
was not an accident.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Someone just hit a big red button that said Pornhub, and they're like, "Oh,
Release
whoops!"
the porn.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps that have to go into doing that. Yeah.
no, whoopsies. The people can't check their juicies.
What the hell? I
They're
have to have
calling
both?
for blood right now.
Do I have to have both fucking chats up? Oh no.
I don't know. We'll get that fixed for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom, Alex, how you guys doing? Tom's trying to get very touchy with the camera right now.
It looked rusty. I wanted to touch it with my salad fingers.
Stupid.
Well, I'm not a very smart person. I'm
what
doing
have you guys
good.
been up to?
I'm doing good, man. I've had a fantastic couple of weeks. Lots of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah,
in
he's
personal
been
life.
busy.
Very busy. Lots of lots of
there you go,
movement
you
in the
fiends.
professional life. So
Yeah.
stuff going on, stuff I can't talk about live on the internet just yet, but yeah, fun things.
Yeah,
And then
you
other
think
than
you're
that,
you think you're like new, maybe a new boss or something might be watching this right now.
new and or old, any combination thereof. Not to say that there is a new boss. That would be kind of early to say, but
Well,
Yeah, so-
just any prospective client.
any perspective of folks coming through to snoop on me. So I can't talk about any of that. I feel like every time there's like extra viewers and it's not somebody who's actively participating in chat, I'm always 100% certain it's my HR department.
No, most likely.
That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. It's like, who
Yeah.
are those 5 viewers that aren't fucking saying anything?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
one would ever just watch this channel. For God's sakes, no.
Like, well, what the fuck is wrong with
Yeah,
them if
no,
they are?
they're only coming in if they're
crazy.
trying to fucking figure shit out about the three of us. It's just
Well, I'm glad you
Hey,
guys understand.
At least somebody listens.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, it gets the viewer count up, so I'm fine with it. Lose the job. I mean, no use crying over spilled milk.
Yep. Yep.
So sister's visiting from New York, which is
Nice.
fun. I binged 10 hours of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Sunday because she is unhealthily obsessed with that show.
I love that, like,
Hmm.
you have, like, a family member visit in town. Like, if I had a family member, like, okay, what can I take them to go do? What can we go see? There's all this stuff in New York City. There's new things going on all the time. your sister comes to Florida, and all there is to do is to binge watch Agents of
Yeah,
S.H.I.E.L.D.
that's pretty
because
weird.
it's Florida.
Oh, I mean, well, I don't want to defend that point because it's hilariously true, but she's been talking about this for months. She's like, I'm coming home, I'm visiting, we got to sit down, we got to watch Agents of Shield.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, it's her
yeah.
home, Mike. It's not like she's coming to like hang.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
kind of a-
All
She
right.
likes she when she visits, she likes to go to the parents' house, sit in her old bedroom, which is the same as it's always been. And then she just puts on a robe and lets cats sit on her for 2 to 3 weeks.
Is your
and then she
sister
goes
single? Like that's I want to do that all day long.
back. That's what she does, man. That's her life. So she's like she's gonna be binge watching
Jesus.
those shows for that 2 weeks because she's so busy when she's up north. She lives, out on Long Island, and it's always like in and out of the city trying to do auditions, and then she's got work. So she comes home. She likes to take it slow. And
Your sister's an actress?
she graduated from Marymount Manhattan. She does like stage performance, so like singing, dancing, all that good stuff.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
So,
That's
yeah.
exciting.
so she's trying to make that all happen when she's up there. So when she comes home, it's all about binging shows on the couch, covered in cats. I respect it. I participate in it.
That's very important. I would be upset with you if you didn't.
Mike, I love your.
What?
Tom says what his sister does, and you go, "That's exciting."
I didn't mean it like that. I knew how it came off.
That's
after I said
exciting.
it.
Wow.
Man, he's just relaxed.
I'm
Mike's
He's chilling.
I'm mellow
just
right now,
chilling,
dude.
He's having a great night.
I found my zen earlier. Okay, can you not fucking knock me out of it
Sorry,
right now, dude?
Sorry, dude. I know you got
I-
you just got
Really,
your chi
just
realigned.
you're bringing me up here
Yeah.
again, dude.
I was playing Smash the other day, and speaking of finding your zen, and I was
Bad way to find your
I was
zen.
trying
Yeah.
I was trying to meditate like before this match, like because this guy usually beats the shit out of me.
Did you stretch?
And then he saw me doing it, and then he said, "Fuck your chakras," and then he did this thing in front of me, and then all of a sudden I was totally fucked up and out of my zen. I'm like, "How did you do that?"
Wait. He did this thing in front of you? What
He
he
just
like?
waved, he just waved his hand around my
Oh,
belly,
okay.
and it
I
was like and he's
Around
like-
your belly.
he was like, "Fuck your chakras," and I'm like, "Whoa,
You messed him
wait,
up.
Where'd my zen go?"
He misaligned them.
Because I had done it before the previous match, and I whooped his ass. And then he's
Is
like,
he
"No,
some
no,
sort of,
no,
like,
don't do that
shaman?
again."
I don't understand.
He is, because he fucking whooped me after that. No zen.
Jesus
done.
fucking Christ, Mayhem. Shut the fuck up.
Violet, you
Shut
are
the
so
fuck
great. You have no idea what I put that poor girl through.
Ma'am, I feel like that's the first time I've ever seen you reference Overwatch, even though
Yeah, same. I don't
your
think he ever
tag
has.
is literally Overwatch in the title.
More ProJuice news, by the way, before we get on to it. If any of you are interested, I clipped a few clips from previous episodes in the clips section.
Clipped a few clips.
Some good
There's
content.
Alex clipping clips.
Some good
He's a
content
clippy
in there,
little
man.
clipper.
I took my scissor and I clipped it up. How was your day,
ASMR
Mike?
for you.
How you doing, dude?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man.
All
Work
right.
was work. Same old stuff. Went away this weekend. Went upstate New York. Played some board games.
Nice.
I'm in a board game mood now.
Yeah, that
Board games
happens.
are awesome.
Yeah. But I also played a few games over the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
I did not go to visit Alex in the upstate New York woods. That is unfortunately not where he is. Message me and I'll give you his personal address.
Please.
Yeah, played a few games this week. Smaller games,
Yeah.
but some I really enjoyed. One of them, I'm going to start with Solitarica.
Okay.
I know you hadn't heard of this when I talked to you about it.
Not even close. No.
So I found out about it through they were talking about it on the Giant Bombcast last week because the developer's making a new game and they were like, "Oh, Solitarica! Oh my god, I'll play anything that guy makes." Like Solitarica was incredible, and I had never heard of it.
So cute.
And they were talking about playing it. They played it on their phones. So I found out it's on Android, iOS, and Steam. What you're seeing now is the Steam version, but you know it adapts very easily to a touch interface. It's interesting. It's like kind of like solitaire, but not. So I'll kind of explain how it works out.
I've never actually ever learned how to play solitaire, so good luck.
There's no coming
Okay.
back from that, so good for you, Alex.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But solitaire is, you deal all the cards out in piles, in columns, and only the top one is face up. And you can move them. Well, sorry, you start moving them around and flipping them, and you can place the cards in order only. So ace can be on top, and then king, queen, jack, 10, 9, 8, and so on underneath it. And you start moving them around because the objective is to then find the lowest amount of cards, but starting with the ace, and adding them to the pile up top for each suit. So you have to find the ace of spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds, and then add the 2 on top and the 3. Why are you laughing?
Because I already am lost.
I am too.
It's like the most simple game. Solitaire is
I don't
so
know.
simple.
I can't because what you're saying, it's like
Just play solitaire. It's preloaded on
I
every
can't.
computer since Windows was a thing. How have
How
you
you
never
guys
played
make
solitaire?
because
It's
every
over.
time I buy a new computer, I say do not install solitaire on it.
Do you have the option?
No,
I
just tell them that and they do it anyway.
10.
you know.
Why are you buying pre-made computers without solitaire on them?
Jesus, Alex.
I don't.
There's so much wrong with that.
I mean, I'm pathetic, but I'm not pathetic
we know
enough to
that.
play solitaire. You know.
It's not solitaire and Minesweeper are some of the best games ever.
Give me
They're
the
incredibly simple.
space pinball game any fucking day, and that's that's what I'm doing.
All right, I'm upset with you, and I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
So Solitaire.
Sorry, continue. Sorry.
I agree with Elizabeth. You have not lived. Solitarica is a blend of solitaire with like a roguelike card game.
Interesting.
So it has this like roguelike gameplay, and you go through these levels of this dungeon. There's 18 levels. You pick a deck of cards. I only played the free version, and the free version is just one deck of cards. And if you want to buy more cards, buy more decks, you can buy them with the in-game currency, but you have to also buy the full game. So I played with the warrior deck. Each deck has like unique spells and whatnot. So you face a series of opponents, and they each have, as you can see here, a bunch of cards face up with cards behind them that are face down. And you just have one deck of cards, and you flip it one card at a time, and you can attack the opponent by choosing a card that they have that's face up, that's either a number above or below the card that you drew. And each turn, every time you draw a new card, they draw like a new spell, almost like they're drawing cards that are just spells, and it can damage you, take away your ability points, take away your armor, add cards to them. Like there's a whole bunch of shit it can do. And so while you're doing this, each card has an element attached to it, and there's 4 elements like attack, willpower, agility. They're not elements; it's just abilities. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. And those, as you destroy cards with that icon on it, and as you draw cards with that icon, you gain a point for that ability, and you can use them to cast spells of your own, like heals, attacks. Attacks can like just outright destroy any card you want, or they can destroy all the cards of a single type, of a single number. There are like spells that'll like convert the cards to certain numbers so that you can like string together combos. And it gets pretty deep because on top of that, there's items that you could buy. So every time you go through a battle, you get a certain amount of gold, and then afterwards, you can go to the shop and buy new spells and new items. And you just go through, and you can upgrade cards in your deck. You can upgrade like kings to give you armor every time they come out. You can upgrade 6s to like restore health every time you draw them. So there's like it's like 50-50. It's like an extreme layer of RNG because you're just drawing cards. That's it. And depending on what you draw depends on like how you can move forward. And so like I've had times where I'm just not drawing what I need and I've lost battles. But like it's not really frustrating because the game's quick. So like
Yeah,
you lose,
you can get right
I'm
back
just gonna
into
do
it.
another run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like solitaire
Right.
because you
Well,
can play solitaire
no,
for
no.
20 minutes.
Exactly.
and then all
The
of a sudden
only
your
thing
elbow
it has that
They
in
put
common
the
with
table,
solitaire.
and
The only thing it has in
really
common with
question how it
solitaire is that you are using cards, and that there's like the one up, one down system. That's really it. That's the only thing it has in common with solitaire. But yeah, so you go through these runs, and then you get currency to like buy upgrades, and then you just keep doing it, and you can do it with different decks and get different spells. And it's just like it has this neat little sense of humor. Like they're all named really stupid thing. All the enemies are named stupid things. They like say really dumb, quirky, funny things. And they just like it does a really good job of making you want to do just like one more run.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think you would really like it, Alex. It's
Yeah?
like just a game to fucking burn time in, and like I don't know if you need something to play while you're taking a dump. It's like it's perfect for stuff like that.
Is
While you're
there
in the car.
is there a tutorial?
Yeah, I mean, it's free on your download it on your phone. You could literally play the game with the warrior deck for free.
Okay.
It's the full game with that deck.
Sounds hard.
It's it's literally it's so easy. What you're seeing now, you draw a 5, you can only use the 5 on a 6 or a 4. And then you go from there. You get that number. So if you use it on a 6, you get the 6. Then you can go up to a 7 or go back down to a 5. That's it. You just keep going. The spell stuff,
it seems like you would fully.
I don't know
Sounds
how you're
easy.
not
Sounds
understanding.
easy. 7 to an 8 or a 6.
Jesus Christ,
And then if you match 7 to a 7, you get the 7.
You can't. No, you can't match numbers. You can only go up or down.
Yeah, I think that if you actually played it for a round, it'd make
You'll get it. Just install it.
Like,
I want to know what you think. See, Elizabeth is furious at you.
All right, maybe
Okay.
I'm gonna. I mean, I was taking a dump today and I picked my nose until it bled. So that's usually what I'm up to when I'm taking
Yeah,
a
so
shit.
you can do this at the same time as that. I promise
So-
you, it will not interrupt your life.
I don't know. That bloody nose was pretty bad. It took a lot of my attention.
Yeah. Well,
This seems
I'm telling
very,
you, even with it
seems-
taking all that attention, you can play this game with one hand.
It seems really involved.
I hate you. Please answer Mayhem's question because I think everyone.
What? Why'd you pick your nose? My noise? I picked my nose, idiot. So
Why did
what
you
would
pick your
you?
nose?
Your noise?
What'd you give this game, dude? Okay, it's
Solitaire?
free. When you buy it, how much is the price of purchasing it?
So it's $4 on phones,
Okay.
$9.99 on Steam right now.
Oh, okay.
I did not look into if you get anything extra on Steam. I don't know if there's mod support or whatnot. It's I have no idea what the difference is.
So wait, it's for if you buy it. What do you get if you buy it?
You unlock the rest of the game, which
Oh,
is
you get all the
you get
cards,
access
okay.
to all the other decks. There's
Oh, they
there's
kinda did it
4 or
like
5
Duke
other
Nukem.
4 to 6 maybe other decks. I don't remember exactly. But they sound fun. I don't know. Did you say it's like Duke Nukem?
They did like the old shareware model. The way they did it, it's like it's not really DLC and microtransactions. It's kind of like here's a
Oh,
taste
yeah,
of
yeah.
the campaign, and then if you buy the game, you get all of the campaigns. Like
Right. Yeah.
that's kind of cool. You don't
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that often anymore.
It's totally worth $4, and I honestly would say if you are not completely against playing games on your phone, just get it on your phone. It
looks
works
like
so
it's
well with
perfect
just
for
one
it.
hand. It's pick up and play. Like,
What are you doing with the other hand?
yeah.
Mm.
Anything you want, Tom. You can be wiping your butt.
You could be picking your nose until it
You can be
bleeds.
picking your nose until it bleeds.
President
Sounds
of
good.
Wolf Cola, thank you so much. Yeah,
Thanks,
fine.
what's
Take
up?
my money, Christ. Thanks, Anthony.
Anthony, you would like Solitaire again. Give it a shot.
I don't think that he would.
Yeah.
Would I like Solitarica?
I don't know. I'm not sure, Tom. But I would actually, since it's free, I would urge you to give it a shot.
Mackie
I
Boy
would be
has
curious to see
subscribed.
what you think. Maki with the sub.
He's
Thank
a long,
you. Oh,
he's a
2 in a row.
long time viewer.
Long time viewer,
5
Maki Boy,
months.
and #1 dad. Some have been saying around the internet.
One dad.
Maki, care to say a few words as the #1 father? But yeah, I've. Other than that, I played another game.
But yeah,
Smallish game.
this does look cool. It does look fun. Sounds
Yeah,
easy.
dude, give it a shot. I'd really like to hear what you think.
Okay.
But yeah, another thing I played that was kind of like just pick up and play here and there. It's a game called Opus Magnum, which I found through Xbox Game Pass for PC. Um, it's a very intimidating looking game, so I'm going to try and break it down as best as I can.
Okay.
But it's a puzzle game at heart. It's a puzzle game where you create the puzzle. Uh, it's developed by Zachtronics. So you play this. It's wrapped around a story too. In the game, you play an alchemist who just graduated, and you're playing the story of like his rise to being the fucking greatest alchemist. The alchemist goat, my dude. And he is the gameplay is pretty much you just like are people are like you're getting story tidbits in between these puzzles. There's pretty much these conversations that, to be honest, I've just been kind of skipping over. But the gameplay consists of making machines,
Poopies.
kind of. So like you're given this blank map, and it's just a bunch of these like hexagon tiles, and the game tells you what you need to create. So like maybe a bond of 4 elements in this specific structure, and it gives you the tools to make it, and it just is good like go, and it's super DIY, and you can solve every puzzle in like a bunch of different ways, and at the end it grades you on how compact it is, how effective it is, how fast it is,
Oh, that's cool.
etc. But it kind of like urges you to have fun with it, and it's like created around building really cool shit and sharing it with people. Like once you build your machine, and you successfully do it like a loop, it just keeps going through the amount of loops that you need it to, and it automates it. And then at the end of it, you can like actually export. This is my favorite feature of the game, honestly. You can export a GIF of your machine, like that's perfectly loopable, endlessly loopable, and it looks so fucking cool.
So cool, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna post one in the Discord later because I made one that looks really awesome.
Is it shaped like a BB?
I was just gonna ask if you could show it because I kind of want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, all right, I'll post it in a few minutes. But
Okay.
so like the way you create these machines, it almost has this like programming interface. It's like a really simple drag and drop programming interface that you use to tell the machines what to do, because you don't just place things places. You have to like give them commands. The commands are like move around, move this way on the track, grab this thing, let go of this thing, extend your arm, pivot this way. Like there's a bunch of different things you can do, and you can so you place these like machines on the ground that some of them have like fixed lengths, some of them can extend, some of them have like multiple arms that can spin around. You can create these intricate tracks, and you have to take these, like the crux of it is pretty much taking these elements and turning them into other elements, and then putting them together in a certain way. So at the end of it, it's just like you only really have to program one loop, and then it'll automatically go back to the front of it and reset. But if you want, you can like get really efficient if you have things move when they can, rather than doing one action, resetting and waiting till the other things finish their one action, because they're all kind of going to be doing different things at different times.
Right.
So when they're resetting and just waiting for the end, that makes for the perfect loop. Like everything's going to be done. There's going to be nothing crashing into each other, which will cause you to fail.
Right.
So if you want to get really efficient, you can go through and program like their every move, their every pause. You can put things down there, like multiple things down there for them to do, rather than just having them have one job, like one task. So yeah, you just like you press play, let it go through, and it's incredibly satisfying and mesmerizing to just see all these like moving parts go at the same time.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's really awesome.
This is a game for engineers, huh?
Yeah, dude.
Thanks,
there's good joke.
Thanks, dude.
There's like I had some gripes with the amount of freedom it gives you, actually, because it's so open. I've almost preferred if it held my hand a little bit more off the bat. Like, it does a really good job of rolling out each of these things for you. But there were still times like where I could have used a tooltip or something that was just like, hey, go into here, to see the order of how each element is made. They have a graph that shows you how you can, like, what you need to combine for each element. Like, I started one thing, and I needed, like, gold and salt or something. I need to bond them together. And I was like, okay. And then I realized that I can't just place gold down. I can place salt down. And I was like, okay, well, I have no fucking idea how to make gold. And I was just trying all these different things. And until I started clicking around and I realized there's a little map that tells you how to make gold. I mean, I had fun kind of just fucking around with things and figuring it out. And the UI is not really confusing per se. Like, it explains everything you see, and there's not that much shit to click on that it doesn't explain. But it's just like, you know, the first handful of blueprints, it really walks you through, and then it just drops you right when it starts to get complex. But yeah, other than that,
you got this.
Yeah. The story's pretty negligible. Like, your character's kind of this like pompous little prick in not an endearing way. Like, but no one really seems to mind, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I was like, just be a little more humble, buddy.
You're an alchemist, dude. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he like gets humbled over the course of the story. That may be like part of his arc. I don't know, but he's kind of irritating. So I am finding myself just skipping through these.
You kind of hate him.
things.
How far?
Yeah, I'm just like, I just want to like, I really just want to make this shit. I just want to like be
Right.
given an objective.
Yeah.
Make something fucking cool.
I feel like that's been our theme for like the past few games you and I have played together. Well, or not even together, but just like get to the fucking gameplay. Come on, let me play the goddamn game.
Yeah. I'm only Tom, to answer your question. There's like 6 or 7 chapters, I believe. I'm only on I'm at the end of chapter 1. I honestly like pick it up. This is also another game where I'm like, okay, I want to do one more. I want to make one more puzzle, but these take a bit, so it's a lot harder to do that.
It looks just watching what you're doing on the screen looks very intriguing to me.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's really satisfying. It has to be your thing though. Like, you have to like enjoy something like this. But it's really satisfying to pull one of these off if you have the patience for it.
Yeah. What was
it's on this one is on Game Pass for PC, so if you're curious, you can just give it a download.
And the title was
Opus Magnum.
Opus Magnum. Oh.
Yeah. Hold on, I want to catch up on chat here before I move on to the last thing I played.
Yeah, Vin's been
Vin's riling people up.
Yeah, Vin's really being
Mackie,
a cheerleader right now.
Do you play Druid? Because it sounds like you play Druid.
What's in the suggestion box below?
Let me take a look. There's a lot of new ones. Looking for one DPS Wailing Caverns, please send tell. Or sorry, LF1 DPS WCPST. And not from Anonymous. This one is from from Mayhem. Cactus Smells.
Oh,
just very good suggestion.
Flat out wants to get that out there.
All right.
How he feels. I appreciate that, Mayhem. I called you Cactus twice, and I feel like I insulted you, so I apologize. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
The last thing I played, I also want to get this out of the way just because it's also kind of quick.
What, Vin? What?
Really stupid.
What's the question? What's your super fucking important question? Can we get a butterfly update? Tom.
Oh, Tom, why don't you
don't roll out the
graphic.
graphic.
The fans know.
The graphic will last longer than the update.
Actually, do you have the graphic queued up, Alex?
Yeah.
Let's get a butterfly update graphic. This is a good one.
Let's get a graphic. Tom, think about what you're going to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of time to think.
Bear with us, everyone.
That's the thing.
Been a while.
Why did you still have the...
Tom, shut up during the butterfly update. Shut up. Jesus Christ. That shark takes so fucking long. It takes so long.
Oh my god. I'm actually really sad now about what Tom's about to say.
And the update is more interesting. The graphic is more interesting.
I don't know, we might
All
just
right,
have
Tom.
to keep doing that.
Talk to us about the apocalypse.
They're all dead. The wasps ate them all. There are so many wasps on my porch now. Because apparently wasps really like to eat caterpillars. And there's like 5. I think it should be the wasp update moving forward because I've got like 4 or 5 different species of wasps peacefully coexisting. So
we
they can
don't
prey
have
upon
the
caterpillars.
money to get a new graphic.
No, yeah. We'd have to change that butterfly to a wasp. And
Do you have a picture? Do you have a picture that high resolution of a fucking wasp that I can use?
I hope you're not asking me.
Not as good as the shark.
Oh, yeah. And then, dude, how many? I mean, we might save a few bucks on the letters. Butterflies is longer than wasp. I don't know.
Mike, where did you find that shark thing? Is that part of like? Is that like a clip art that you could just pull from the program itself?
No, I can't say because I didn't pay for it.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
shout out to sharks.com.
Yeah, all the milkweed died. So much work to keep that milkweed alive. It's all dead.
Yeah.
Even the ones that are alive are all wilted and full of shit.
Yeah.
That's your butterfly update. Stupid bastard, so hard to keep alive. Everything wants to eat them. Apparently even the sharks. And they're dead.
And that's the butterfly.
Yeah, that's gonna be the last butterfly update for quite a bit.
Remember to always keep your butterflies away from sharks and wasps.
Yeah,
and most importantly, wasps.
Do you really not know what a gooch is? Yeah, a taint.
A gooch is a taint.
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah,
thing. The piece in between your legs, behind the balls. That's how you describe the piece in between your legs, behind the balls. The piece?
I mean, it can really be called anything, he says.
I mean, in fairness, you could probably...
Can't you say that about
anything?
anything?
A gun in there, right? So, like,
yeah,
the piece, and then it could be in reference to a gun held between one's balls and anus.
Then it's confusing.
No, it's the area. It's just...
Just
the area between your asshole and your balls.
Everything is skin.
It's not the piece in between your legs behind. It's in between your legs. Like if you said if it's the piece behind your balls, people will be like, "Wait, like in between your legs?" They'd be confused. Behind the balls?
It sounds like you have a growth there, or like something foreign.
He's like has a little dangling, he has a dangling little dongle.
Yeah, the piece between your balls.
God.
What if it's like the piece, like PEACE?
I need a flag. I
he
don't
needs
know.
a flag.
The wording is so odd to me. So yeah, Mike, what was
Yeah. So the other game I played.
Yeah, third.
The last
3
thing
out
I
of 3.
had a chance to play. It's a little game called Night Trap.
Oh, poopity doo.
A little doozy called Night Trap.
Right. Night Trap.
What a game.
Can we get a FOTC?
What a game.
First of all, how did you manage to play this game? Where were you able to acquire and play?
They re-released it. I bought it on the Switch, like on Thursday or Wednesday last week at it was like 2 a.m. and I got an email. I was like sitting in bed, not asleep. I got an email saying one of the items on your wish list is on sale. And I looked, and it's because I had a Night Trap on my wish list. Because I was like, I would play this game at some point. It was like $6, and I had about $6 in credit. So I went ahead and fucking bought Night Trap and played it for an hour until like 3 a.m.
Was that long enough to beat it?
No, I did not get very far. It's long enough to know exactly how the game works and talk about it. And I don't know if I will ever turn it on again.
Okay.
We'll see.
Fair.
So let's seize the moment. Tell us.
So as you can see here, it plays out.
With the commando.
It plays out like a movie.
I gotta play
in
this
these
fucking
cutscenes.
game.
It looks so
It
cool.
opens on that like mysterious hand. It's this mysterious hand holding this like wacky remote. You're just gleefully laughing as he pushes these buttons, and it like makes these like 20-something-year-olds in this house get pushed into like holes in the floor and in the wall, and it's just so stupid. Then you get introduced to the special forces unit called SCAT. I don't know if that was
SC
intentional.
with a C or a K?
SCAT.
Oh,
SCAT.
my
I don't know if that was intentional or not. And then they're like sent in to take down this man, this mysterious hand. Like apparently he's just been killing teens like this, like multiple times. And they're like, but we got control over the house too, so we can use it to save them. And then all of a sudden, this guy also has like this group of henchmen that look like. Do you remember Manta Ray? I don't know. If that was his name
from SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
Yeah.
If they look like him, but if he had a really dirty, like a suit that somebody just rubbed a bunch of people that are on, and they have these like weird weapons to like grab teens. Anyway, so the game, like after that cutscene with Scat, Man Ray, that was it, Man Ray.
Man Ray, yeah.
After that cutscene, after you get introduced to Scat, you gain control of the cameras in the house, and the game just plays out almost in a way. Elizabeth, you'll know this comparison. I don't know if anybody else will, but it plays out almost like Sleep No More, which is that like live.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been in it, but I know about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that play that people like the actors move around in this physical space that you can as well. And it plays out like that in that you just like go through these different camera angles as these actors are going through the movie. So, you get into a bunch of creepy scenes where people are in a bathroom changing. You also get into a bunch of scenes where like, I don't know, just a bunch of teens are dancing and like a
She
living
really
room for
doesn't
no
see
reason.
that.
Oh, she thinks it's
Yeah.
okay.
She
thought
like,
it was one of the
no!
boys.
Oh no! And one of them just comes out of the fucking mirror in the wall.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're gonna hold you down and
So
scat.
ridiculous.
That guy has a dildo on a stick. That's what that was.
Seriously,
Yeah,
this
it's
this game is fucking weird. So like,
Is
once you
it?
get control of it, these people in the dirty hazmat suits sneaking around the house, like you have to trap them so that they don't get the teenagers. You have to push them into these holes by using the traps. And the way that works is like the traps are on this code, this color code. And when they get to a certain point in the room, there's a little blinking light on your television that'll blink fast and red, and you have to press the button to activate the trap. So during the game, the code changes. The people, I'm going to a little bit more of the story now. Yeah, this group of teens just like apparently casually
Yes, this is a nice trap, Danny.
They meet this cool teen at the mall, and they just all decide to have this huge slumber party that same exact night, apparently. And one of them brings their little brother along. I don't fucking know why. Because that's what you do when
party.
you have sleepovers with 7 of your other.
You don't want to miss out on a scat party, dude.
Yeah,
Man, Scat's there.
And then you get this idea that the family that owns the house is like behind whatever is about to happen. So like the parents tell the daughter that they have to leave, so they expect her and her brother to finish up things while ominous music plays, and then it starts to get like really direct about it. So the game actively just puts you in this like chaos management, which is the only mechanic of the game. Just constantly you're trying to go back and forth. At the same time, it like keeps you from experiencing the game. You're constantly going back and forth from saving people and trapping the hazmat suit men, and you're going back and forth between that and like trying to get bits of whatever story there is, or to just like watch the cheesy fucking shitty campy goodness of whatever is happening. And I found myself just watching stuff, and I felt really weird because at one point I just realized I was watching a bunch of women dance in a living room really poorly to music, and I'm like, they have no idea that I'm watching them. This is so creepy.
When they were filming this,
Like,
they were making this, they thought that this was the next thing.
I know, yeah. So
They
it's
thought
like
this was it.
I
They
think
thought
it's a
they
pretty
did it.
fucking cool idea, personally.
it's an
to be
interesting
honest.
idea, except that like you don't get to experience the best parts of it because you're
Right.
constantly just like switching in between rooms,
Yeah.
trying to find creepy, weird people to trap. And while you're like, I want to watch that really stupid fucking thing that's happening in the other room. I don't want to do this part of it. So if you don't like, it gets to a point where if you don't, this is what happened to me. If you don't capture enough of them, control like the guy, one of the scat guys pops up, and he stops you. And he's like, you didn't do your job, and we're gonna have to take over from here. Apparently, like too many of them were taken.
Just get fired because all the teens got killed. Listen,
Yeah,
Scat,
but
why don't you
like-
fucking breach and clear that shit and get all the fucking teens out? What the fuck are you doing with the remote control? What is happening here? You know what it is? They're all too busy rubbing shit on each other in the other room.
Yeah, they're getting ready to fucking take out the Predator, clearly.
It does. It has like a real like a Predator feel to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look
Like,
at them.
That scene
Look
specifically
at
is
them.
very Predator.
The only difference between the Predator and this is they're not oiled.
And there's no Arnold.
So yeah, it's like you miss like character introductions. Like I caught the tail end of character introductions sometimes, and that was when I was like, I don't want to capture these guys anymore, but I can keep doing this, and I probably should, but I'm gonna go back to this other scene.
Right.
So I could have just completely missed that. So I was kind of like fucking annoyed at that. But yeah, so like you just like I would rather them just give me like a 10-minute cutscene and then let me capture some goons while like non-essential shit happens. Like maybe when the teens are just dancing in the living room to really terrible 80s music. And then like they're all just surrounding each other going like, dance! 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 It's so dude. Some of the writing. There's one point where these two like I guess they're supposed to be like the bad boys, like walk up to the house, and then there's also like the weird guy who I don't know if he's like a caretaker. I don't know. I only did like one playthrough, so it was they're like coming in, and he's just like in the bushes, like a fucking weirdo. He's just in the bushes, and they go, "Hi, Eddie."
They
Bye,
look like
Eddie.
they shit themselves.
Oh, and let us know when you want to die, Eddie. And then they go, and then laugh inside. You're like, well, that's Night Trap.
I can't imagine that the dialogue in this and the acting in this is any good.
Yeah.
I can't believe that there hasn't been a Night Trap 2 made in. Like,
Someone's got to get on that.
Where it's just like it's just a big riff on this. You know?
So this, well, I mean,
Where is that? The world needs that.
I mean, there are a bunch of, yeah, Olivia. This is a game called Night
game.
Trap. There are a bunch of FMV games. There are recent ones too, and it sent me down a bit of a spiral. And I noticed that I own a few of them that I want to. I might actually play on stream or something. I feel like it'd be interesting to go through them. There's ones like oh god,
Dude,
This guy couldn't
tell
hire
me
one
that's
guy
not a
that-
fucking dildo on a stick.
a dildo on a stick.
Look at how it moves.
No, close though.
Hold on.
Yeah, play again.
Hold on. Wait.
There's a recent one called The Bunker. And Late Shift is the other one that I was thinking of. And then there's a recent fighting one that came out that I wanted to try. It's like an FMV fighting game called Headspun.
That
No,
does look like a dildo. When he walks into the room, it looks like a dildo. Now it doesn't. Now it looks like a little...
Wait a second, Tom.
When he walks into the room, it looks like a dildo. Nah.
Come on. I can't.
Okay, all right, fine. That's a dildo.
Okay,
Alex
wait.
does.
Yeah. Her Story is one. Yeah.
Why is it purple?
Okay.
Like,
And the fighting
know,
one
yeah,
is
it's a dildo.
called Stay Dead Evolution.
stop looping that. How did you do that?
It's clearly meant for them to grab them around the neck.
No. That looks like E.T.'s cock.
Yeah.
Dude, that's not. You don't catch anyone with that.
Funnily enough, ET Rule 34 is a thing that had come up for me in the last 2 weeks. Why did that exist?
Wait,
a lot of
what?
his finger being a penis.
I looked away for a second. I come back. We're on ET Rule 34. That's not
Yeah,
okay.
man.
This is
Yeah.
a child-friendly stream, or maybe not.
No, it's not.
I guess not. All right, let's see it. We're ET.
No, we're not.
Roll the
gonna
clip.
But anyway, yeah. So now I'm interested in all these other FMV games. So it's gonna send me down a awful spiral. And
Wait, why is it still?
please stop looping this.
Please
Just
no.
take it off. I'm done talking about this game.
I
Just
don't know
remove
why
it.
it's
I don't want to see it.
All right,
Very
all
good.
right, all
Very
right.
quick, Alex. That was really fast. You got that going.
XSplit's fucking awesome, dude.
You're fucking good at this. You're a fucking
Thanks,
pro.
dude. Thanks. Hey, man, when I see a dildo, I gotta get it to the people.
You
as
got
fast
at
as I
it, bro.
can.
Yeah.
Good job.
When I see a dildo, I gotta get it to the people. You should run on that slogan.
Alex knows his dildos.
That is a strong pod.
I'd consider playing that again, like on stream, if there was a desire for that, or like when I'm drunk with other people. Otherwise, I don't know if that's a game I would play alone again.
Drunk with other
It's
people.
really not that fun.
Yeah,
It's
especially
like-
3 in the morning.
Yeah, it's just that one mechanic, and you're just like, okay, I don't enjoy this that much. That's not. Yeah, I'm done. I don't know if I have it in me to like keep playing until I win. It doesn't seem to be that difficult, but I don't know, it seems like some
$6 on Switch. I might have to
$6
pick it
on
up.
Switch. I think it is currently still on sale, so you might still be able to grab
I
it.
might have to pick it up. Am I supposed to play those, or are those clips of the show you're doing? What play those live?
Play those live. But yeah, that's about all I got up to this week was Solitarica, Opus Magnum, and Night Trap.
Okay. Very cool. Very, very good week.
Yeah, it's been a slow in terms of like big name releases. We have
got
WoW
up to some
Classic
shit.
coming up, and we have Control at the end of the month, which
on the floor.
I'm really fucking pumped about.
Floor.
I did play while you're still setting this up, and I know you just made your character as well.
Mhm.
The colorist on the proof of concept for Gary's feature that we filmed, the colorist told us about how he plays City of Heroes Homecoming,
Yeah.
and we were like, I thought that was like a really close thing that you had to be invited to, that like you weren't even supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
Apparently it's just open to everyone.
Yeah, that's what I
He
thought
sent
too.
us He sent us the instructions, downloaded it in 10 minutes, made a character, spent like 2 hours making a character. But I am incredibly excited to jump back into City
So
of
am I,
Heroes.
dude. You got to see my character. Maybe I'll show him live on stream, dude.
Hey,
You should.
maybe.
Maybe later
All right.
tonight. Stick around to
This
see
is-
my terrible City of Heroes character.
Are
This
you gonna
clip
do that
is
thing
trippy.
where we go inside? Can we go forward a little bit in that stream so we can kind of see what it looks like when we dive into Infinity?
Let's hold on.
And in the
Let's see the
wall.
clip. And it's just so stupid. Then you get introduced to the Special Forces unit called SCAT. I don't know
Oh,
if that was
SC
intentional.
with a C or a K?
SCAT.
Oh,
SCAT.
my.
I don't know if that was intentional or not. And then they're like sent in to take Alex, you down laugh. this man, this mysterious hand.
Dude,
Apparently you just.
Dude,
it's
how-
like you're so surprised.
How- I am. It's ridiculous. How are you gonna put a fucking? How in what way? What were they going for? Because clearly they named it so that
It's
it
supposed to
would
be
spell out scat. Like
Oh yeah, no, I don't know.
Like,
I thought you were
we
talking about
died.
the
that
Cowboys
is, you
stuff.
don't make an organization and then go, oh
That's
yeah,
what
I
it
guess
stands for.
it's scat. But it's like it's scat is a word that you take and you go, how can we make an acronym out of scat? You don't go, let's make an organization.
I think
Shit, it's
Scatman
scat.
was probably popular at the time.
Probably, but he was also
like scat-
shitting on people left and right.
Like scat as a vocal styling was probably innocent at the time. Like it was a more used term. So
According to Wikipedia, it's Sega Control Attack Team.
Sega Control Attack Team.
Yeah,
that's so fucking stupid.
Right?
It was
They took... Oh,
originally a game for Sega CD.
my god. Oh my god.
Are you upset?
I am.
I want to play it now. I want to play Scat. I
But
need
you
to
had a
get
good
my
point,
hands
Tom,
on
and
Scat.
I really apologize. I cut you off. You had a good point in that Scat is, also colloquially used.
Yeah,
For, like,
as
Yeah, but that's not what they
Scat
were
man.
going for.
Beat-
No
like
one's
beatboxing.
talking about the Scat Man when they refer to Scat.
Hey, maybe the Scat Man wasn't even talking about scatting.
I don't think he was. He knew what he was.
Yeah,
He
He's like-
knew that son of a bitch.
He knew what he
every
was doing.
single whenever his manager was like, "Hey, so I got my client the Scat Man," they're like, "What is he gonna go on stage and shit on people?" And the manager's like, And then the guy's like, "Well, can he just make a bunch of noises with his mouth? We get people come on stage shitting on each other every night here. Let's get something different." What is this character I'm doing?
Get some fucking variety, please.
All right, what's this clip, Mayhem? This better be good or I'm banning you.
Floor and in the wall, and it's just so stupid. Then you get introduced to the special forces unit called SCAT.
This is literally the same fucking.
The same clip.
What are you
You
doing?
posted it twice?
I think
What are
he
you trying
did.
to do to us here?
I think he did, or maybe I.
He's trying to make us look
Right?
bad in front
No,
of our
no,
mixer
no.
audience.
That's my bad. Yeah.
Let's get a
it's-
mixer view update. We're trying to hold on a second.
A mixer view
Going
Oh
live.
update.
man, the
Mixer
look on my
page.
face in that still frame.
We have one live viewer on Mixer, and it is me.
Okay.
All right.
And
Nice.
that's the mixer update.
And that's the Mixer update. Yeah. I'll post the City of Heroes link in the Discord after the show.
All right, Mayhem. This better be good or I'm gonna ban you.
Is this the same one?
No.
Oh, it's the
And
dildo.
the fighting one is called Stay Dead Evolution.
This just happened, Mayhem. Not 2 seconds ago.
It's clearly meant for them to. He
grab
wants
them
to make
around
us
the neck.
relive
No.
our greatest moments,
No.
which apparently are just.
That looks
now.
like ET's cock.
This is so meta. Now somebody needs to clip our reactions to ourselves.
Dude, that's not.
Ugh.
You don't catch anyone with that.
maybe Cactus, but
I mean,
I
we.
don't care because we have 11 viewers.
Yeah. I mean that. But also, I mean, it's a program, right? It's like a program.
Right.
Why would they make a program to do this if you can't do this? I don't know. I'll look into it, but we're good right now. Who cares?
Tom,
Yo,
you've been playing Smash.
I've been playing Smash.
No.
Did you play the new hero?
Not only have I played the new hero, it's the only thing that I have played.
Wow, so you're a fan.
I love Hero.
Really?
I think Hero is
surprised.
so much fun. Okay, so
You're
like
you're so
the-
cute.
I was so excited about Hero.
You're
there's-
so cute. I want to kiss you.
I want to pinch your little cheek. There's so much good about Hero. So
Good.
about so like people get really they get really upset about Hero, and then some people try to say, hey, don't be upset about Hero, and they're all wrong. Everybody's wrong. I'm the only one with a good take on this, so listen. Hero is Smash distilled into a character. So Sakurai did not make Smash for Evo. I mean, he tried to disavow Evo for many, many, many years. Finally, Nintendo is kind of embracing Evo, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they make this character that is in himself the distillation of the spirit of Smash Brothers. So for those who don't know, Hero is the 4 main protagonists from 4 of the Dragon Quest games, which are kind of similar to Final Fantasy in the sense that there are a bunch of games that share a lot of thematic through lines, but they're not directly related.
Mhm.
And in this case, it's almost like Cloud is the hero every time, but he just looks different and he has a different backstory, but it's like he has the same sort of abilities and moves and some weaponry similar. Almost like how in many of the Zelda games, Link is always Link. It'd be like if Link looked and dressed different in every game.
Got it.
So you got like 4 heroes, and all your moves are the same no matter which one you pick. And
Is this something you pick before the match or during the match you could change?
you pick it during the match. I mean, before the match. So
Okay.
you got 8 costumes, 2 colors for each of the 4 heroes.
Gotcha.
So you pick your costume, go into the match, and the thing that's really silly about Hero is he's completely broken. He's not a really good character. He's not a super OP character. And what I had to try to there was this. I have a group of friends who get really like intense about this, and they were saying, "Oh, Hero's super broken. He's OP," and then other guys were like, "No, he's not OP. He's not broken. Leave him in." And they were kind of distilling the argument down to that. The reality is, look at that menu that's on the screen right now. Random list of commands appears, and then you randomly get an ability from those random lists of commands. Hero is not broken. He has moves in his list that are broken. The reality is, he's random. So sometimes a bad player can take a win off a good player because Hero literally pulls out a move that says thwack. Okay, I use this move thwack. It has a gigantic hitbox. It will hit. It almost always hits when you cast it. And
is it just like a slash in front?
It's a giant explosion. He waves his hand, and there's a massive explosion in front of him. Huge,
Okay,
covers
so
half
like,
the stage.
It goes up too.
Up, down, way far forward. Big. It's actually the hitbox is bigger than it even looks, and it covers a lot of the stage. You'll probably see it in the footage in the back. If it hits somebody, even if they're at 0, so the way it works is the higher the damage of the other player, there is a increasing chance that will simply delete them. So like it's the only move in Smash besides his other move called Whack, where he throws a little version of it out and it just travels across the screen. These are the only moves in Smash where you hit someone and instead of them having to fly off screen and die, they just get hit and say peace and they just die right there. They explode right where they stand. And look,
I've never even heard of that.
He put that guy to sleep, and then he cast Hatchet Man. Hatchet Man is so problematic. So
this is
Thwack. Here it is, Thwack. Thwack can instantly KO an opponent sometimes. Gone.
Yeah,
Gone.
they just disappear.
Yeah, they just
disappeared.
That's funny. Holy shit.
Hatchet Man's even worse. So one thing that's really like, you could get rid of his entire down B arsenal, everything that happens on that menu, and he would still have this mechanic called crit. And for anyone who's played an RPG, you know what a crit is. Yeah. He has a 10% chance to crit, which will deal like 1.5 times damage and
on
like
all attacks.
Double
on Smash, only on smashes.
So what's really funny is a fully that was a crit right there. Oh no, that was a metal. Metal always plays like a crit. We'll talk about Metal Slash in a minute. But a fully charged forward smash at 0 from center stage crits. That can kill someone, depending on their weight. That'll kill half the cast. One fully charged forward smash will have a 10% chance to kill with Hero. So people want to... So he's... Oh, what? Magic Burst. Look at this. Look at the size of that move. Did you see that? Did you see how much damage it did? That guy was at 0. He's at 47 now. You know what happens if you're at 30 when you get hit by that? You die.
You die. Yeah.
You get blast zoned.
Yeah.
Immediately.
That's
Imagine
crazy.
trying to come back against that.
Danny, you played Hatchet Man too? I'm sorry, you played the Hero as well?
Oh, Danny had to endure like 6 hours of me cackling maniacally while I would cast.
I can picture that so clearly.
Yeah.
And just like blow it. So the rule was it had to be dittos. Like, so we were just playing only Dragon Quest versus Dragon Quest. That was it. Hero on Hero.
Okay.
And yeah, you watch this. He just did his final smash, right? Now you've just seen this character do so much ridiculous shit. Oh, it doesn't show it. At 0, it only does like 40 damage and has no knockback. Oh wait, here it is. I think this is it. Here, he's at 0, right? He's like, look at how good the horizontal range is. So it hits him, and you're like, oh yeah, that landed. That's pretty cool. And then it's like whack. It's like, yeah. Wait, what? That only did 40?
Yeah, that's
Final
like
smash
opposite.
only does 40?
Yeah.
He can forward smash you and kill you at 0. What the fuck? So, I think that this character
Hold on a second.
needs to not be tweaked, needs to not be nerfed. Leave the character exactly the way that he is. Let him be what he is. He is playing with items on. He is the equivalent of items on. So just ban him from tournaments. This character's unfit for competition, not because he's OP, not because he's gonna go and win a super major, but because occasionally a less qualified player will upset a better player because they're gonna pull out a lucky thwack.
Yeah.
And you can't argue against it. It's gonna happen. Just down B thwack, gone. He's dead. He's gone. That's it.
You don't think it seems like no matter what, though, because of the randomness, a skilled player will probably take the win at the end. No, or how often do these things come
A
up?
skill player will almost like skill will almost always be more important. It will almost always be more important. My
Yeah.
only argument is occasionally it won't be. And statistically I'm right. Like you're going to occasionally get a crit. That like fuck the down B menu. Just crit is such a problem for competitive play. It is not okay that somebody just got a forward smash and killed you. Like
Yeah.
that's not okay. The
Yeah,
character is
yeah.
not so bad. Like he's not really a great character, but he's not so bad that he actually needs to occasionally just cheese a stock off somebody.
Right, right.
Like it's just too much. You can play a competent hero and just get some absurd victories. And if skill is in your favor and then the luck tilts in your favor,
Yeah.
oh god, forget the underdog.
Yeah,
Fuck
it seems
him.
like
Fuck him.
Yeah.
yeah, it seems like even with the chance of the of like that bullshit happening, then like it still needs to be treated, I guess, like he is OP, and they
It's not
probably get rid of him now.
it's not OP. It's just that it's not in the spirit of competition. The character is not in the spirit of
Yeah, there's some
I
characters
see what
that
you're saying. Yeah,
have RNG to them, like Game and Watch,
Oh, true. Yeah, yeah.
Peach. What's another one, Tom? I'm sure there's one more out there that's built around.
I mean there are a couple of characters like you said, Game and Watch and Peach are the ones that come to mind
Yeah.
most readily.
So Peach can pull a Stitch Face turn up that hits really fucking hard and has a lot of knockback, among other things, bombs, and instead of just the regular turn up, there's like a bunch of different faces that she can
Right.
pull. That there's a 15% chance that she pulls something that isn't a turn up, and then there's like a different table of percentages to what she pulls. And then Game & Watch has his side B, which it can go anywhere from 1 to 9, 9 being like a KO,
Yeah.
1 being nothing. But
Do they ever
his
ban characters from tournaments?
This will be the first character Smash has ever banned. Cactus, I fully support banning this character.
for
I
ultimate.
just say don't change him. Don't
Mhm.
change him. He's
He's
not
I
made.
wouldn't want him to be changed either.
Sakurai does not make this game for the competitive scene. He makes
Yeah.
it for fans of video games. The character is actually pretty fun.
Uh,
So like leave him the way he is, but because that's the way he was made and that's the way they envisioned him. But you know what?
Yeah.
We as the competitive community just have to put him off to the side. He's just not for us. It's just like items, it's just like stages that move.
Yeah, Danny made
One
a
of
good
the
point there.
things
He
in
is
Smash
items,
Brothers
basically.
That is not for us. He is items. He's items the character. He's not for us.
He seems like a lot of fun to play.
He's so much fun to play.
He's
and
so
Cactus,
weird.
Even if you're not competitive and you're playing this character to beat your friends who don't like him, you're dick. So friend is
Yeah,
dick.
it's like playing
Don't
Oddjob.
play against your dick friend. And then the only thing that kind of sucks is that when you go into competitive Smash online, for people who care about like global Smash power and all that shit, you are gonna have to deal with Hero.
Yeah.
So there's no banning him from that. It can't be done. So just like we don't like some of the rule sets in competitive Smash Online, we don't like Hero. We're gonna have to live with Hero. That's just the way it's gonna be.
Have they made fundamental changes to characters before, like that people said were OP?
No.
Yeah, they tweak characters all the time.
Not-
but not on the scale that
Like
this
because
character-
it would need some serious.
There are
character.
characters. So they do have patch notes now that will tweak characters, but they've never went back and like changed a person's entire kit around so that it
Gotcha.
plays completely differently. He's always going to play that way. He's always going to be based on spell casting with an MP bar, and it's random, and that's just the way it is.
You would have to nerf so much.
Things
about
will
this
never
character.
be the
First of all,
same.
you'd have to either throw crit out or you'd have to make crit pointless. So why do either of those? Just ban the character from competitive Smash is my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean that's something the
that
competitive scene can choose to do on their own.
yeah, that move that he just did on the screen with the charge forward B, his charge forward B is so strong. Like we didn't even talk about just parts of his regular kit.
Yeah, his
that are
regular kit.
broken.
His up B
Like-
is crazy. His side B is crazy. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
he's a good character.
Like he's kind of slow and his movement's a little bit weird, and there are ways to get in. Like if you're playing Rushdown, if you're playing a fast character with better frame data, if you just have way better buttons, he won't really get that much of a chance to open up his menu or to think. He's just going to have to try to react, and you're going to be at an advantage.
Yeah.
But the reality is, it's so easy. Like he has one of the main. There's a lot of them in this game where forward smashers will lean the character back.
Mhm.
That is so incredibly devastating because you're going to take that forward smash. If you were counting on perfect spacing, and that guy did his forward smash, you're going to get hit by it. Watch any competitive play with the hero already. You will see this all day. Somebody perfectly spaces an aerial, and he gets anti-aired by hero doing a forward smash. It's a very safe way to call out a spaced aerial, and guess what? There's a 10% chance to straight up obliterate the other player.
Yeah.
It's not okay. Like there's no, Zero is like trying to argue that this is okay, and he has a half an hour video. Zero is the best Smash 4 player historically, and he played a little bit of competitive Ultimate, but he doesn't really do it anymore. Makes way too much money playing on Twitch.
Yep.
Probably keeps his blood pressure a lot lower than the competition. So, and I would do the same thing if I was in his position.
Yeah.
Retire on
All he
top.
does is he just goes to major Smash events and just signs a bunch of autographs and sits and watches Smash.
And he makes,
and he gets paid to do it, I'm sure.
Yeah. And but his opinion is still very valid on the scene.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
He plays a lot of
course.
Ultimate.
Yeah, he plays a lot of Ultimate.
But I think he's got a very bad take on Hero because he has this like half hour or hour long video explaining why Hero should not be banned from competitive Smash, and it is all about one thing that I have very specifically not talked about because I can make my case about how this character needs to be banned without even mentioning Hocus Pocus. And his
The
whole
movie.
video,
Yeah,
the movie with Bette Midler. And there's a lot of things that I could, but you want to talk about it.
What did you just say? Did you just say Hitler?
No, we said with Bette Midler.
Oh, okay.
The actress in
The one
Hocus
in
Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
I thought you just said Hitler.
Oh, like the movie? Yeah, Hail Hitler. So, Hero...
Get your head out of the gutter, Mike.
All
Not
right, careful with
everything's
that
about-
arm, Tom. Let's keep that down for now.
But
For now.
But yeah, so he has one move on his down B list that it has a very low chance to show up, and it is probably the least disruptive thing about him, because the way that it works is he has a move called Hocus Pocus, and it has a chance to do any of his other moves that can possibly show up on the list. There's like 30, so it will randomly do one of those, or it will poison you, it will drain all of your mana, it will
Zero
put
gravity.
you to sleep.
Put you to
It
sleep.
will
Zero gravity.
slow you down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will make you massive, like a super mushroom. So it'll make you huge, and then your one forward smash will kill even if you don't crit, and if you do, it'll take 2 stocks. It's an exaggeration, but that guy's so dead. Or it could give you an invincibility star. It is items. Items. The move.
Danny just said it could delete you. true?
It will like you as in the other person.
Like you die. Like
Yeah. The only
the other
thing
person dies.
It can delete all of your mana, which is one of the things it'll do when you cast it. Sometimes you'll see Hero go ugh, and like a little purple like thing will pop off of him, and then you look at his mana bar and it's empty. So Hocus Pocus is for 2 things, and it's the same thing that Kamikaze is for. No, so one of them is for just tilting the opponent. So if you're way ahead and you just want to tilt the opponent, you can either cast Hocus Pocus, which is hilarious because whatever it does, it's going to make the other person mad. It's either going to turn you into a god and you're going to kill them, or it's going to do something horrible to you and put you at a disadvantage. But you took that risk because you're winning.
Yeah.
Or you'll do it when you're desperate and in need of a comeback, and you're like, I'm going to lose this game. I'm gonna go all in on Hocus Pocus, see if I get invincibility or Mega Mushroom, and maybe I can kill him in a hit.
Yeah.
And that's a thing you can just do. So it's a comeback mechanic for when you're desperate. And then Kamikaze Kamikaze is 100% for tilting the other person. And you saw a picture of it. I think we saw it in this video here.
Yeah, we saw a video of it. Yep.
Where basically Hero just explodes and dies.
Yeah.
And if the other player is in the explosion, they've got to be at about 30 or 40, and it'll kill them. As long as they're at 30 or 40, they'll die from the explosion. It's massive. It's very hard to avoid. And it happens instantly when you cast it. And the game even slows down to show you that you're fucked. Like, everybody gets like 2 to 3 full seconds to appreciate how fucked you are, and then you die. So it really tilts the other person. Even if you miss, but if you're ahead and you miss, then it tilts the other person. You know, it's just like, I took that risk and I don't fucking care. It makes you mad. It makes you mad when the other person casts Kamikaze. You can avoid it and live, and I promise you, it makes you mad. And
this is making me want to play, and I just suddenly had the urge to get good at Smash enough so that I could beat you in one game.
Yeah, right.
So but I would never use Hero if I was being competitive.
I know. I'm going to use the.
He's just talking.
Yeah. I want you to do it. I want you to do it. And honestly, this is why I think Hero is good for the game, and I almost wish there was a way to keep him in competition, because I've been watching tournament games again.
Sakurai is such a pretty boy. Like,
he doesn't age. He's
got a little Michael Jackson look going on. I don't really know if I'm into it, but he's like very prettied up.
I don't think his makeup artist or makeup, person is helping him out.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
This is the first time I feel like
he kind of looks like he has jaundice, like, in his face, and then his body is pale. Like, you can tell there's so much makeup and foundation, and then his neck and lower is just white. Yeah.
How are you guys looking at Sakurai when Hero is literally casting Bounce right now?
Because you've been talking about him for fucking 6 days now, Tom. Wrap it up!
I love Hero. Mike, I want you to get good at Smash. Let's play. Let's have fun playing Smash. Hero is amazing. He's fun to watch. I love watching tournament games with him in them, but I will send you guys I'll put it in the Discord later. I put it in there once before, but now that we've talked about it, I'll put it in again. A video of a gentleman named Parappa, who's a pretty good player at a fairly important local scene. And he's been maining Hero since he came out. And just one of the funniest rage quits I've ever seen in Smash, and one of the most justified I've ever seen in Smash. And in that video, you will understand why this character just is amazing and is fun, but also just has to stop.
I agree.
That's all you have to say for yourself, Alex?
I mean, competitive-wise, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of banning people. I always think, like,
adapt, right? Like,
adapt, right. That's the thing that everyone says. I know it's the cliche response to when people say this, but it's like, dude, I can't not say that with, like, given Melee as an example. How, like, that game is so fucking old, and still to this day, people are finding out that some characters might be above another one, like it, and there's no changes. The game has never been patched, maybe once, I think, and it's like it's still, people are still figuring shit out. So you introduce a character like this, his mechanics are kind of shitty, but I feel like, in the great words of that one guy from the movie The Fly, life finds a way.
Yep. But do you think he should or should not be banned?
I don't believe in banning this bad. Like, I don't know. I don't think.
I'm not going to argue with you, because I think that there's an argument to keep him in. I think that when you look at the scene from two perspectives, like if you look at it from the perspective of a competitor, he should be banned. When you look at it from the perspective of a viewer,
I think it would make things exciting.
So much fun I think it would be entertaining to watch. Yes, the games that he plays in do have a kind of wild card factor to them. I feel like what?
Man.
Oh.
He farted.
He farted.
Yeah, I mean, I also kind of believe. I mean, this is just a belief. Obviously, it's not scientifically proven, but like the introduction of more RNG into something competitive takes the competitive out of it, no matter what the RNG is. Because if you're introducing RNG, that means the skill kind of lowers a little bit, but not like enough that it's like. I don't know. I think it's. I think it's silly. I want to at least give it some time. Like, let him breathe as a character. Like,
yeah.
The illogical extreme is always an important thing for me when I'm trying to make a decision about something like this, right?
Yeah.
So, what is the illogical extreme of Hero? So, Hero has a 10% chance to delete you with a smash. What if it was 100? Where's the line?
Yeah, so, obviously 100 is crazy.
100, I think 10 is crazy. So that's the thing. So like. You start at 100 and you start working your way down. And you're like, actually, the line is 0. He shouldn't have that 10% chance to just delete the other character. So,
well, then Game & Watch shouldn't have a 10% chance to knock people out either.
But it's right, and that's not the one that also has a chance.
Yeah, but he has
right?
so okay, that's fair, but so 10. Let's talk about it in like percentage of chance that any move deletes the character. Right, and how safe and viable that move. If you weight all those things, Hero literally has 4 smashes that will do it, 2 neutrals that don't have a weighted chance. It's like they just kill a little bit higher. Game & Watch is fairly
you have to
set
you have to set up his side B. Yeah,
with one move, and that very move that has that 10% chance to delete the character also has a chance to hurt you. So it's like, and it's very hard to hit with.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's why I say you got to look at it from a spectrum, because the thing is Hero is a lot closer to that 100% any smash will kill. Like if I just land a smash, it's like you're playing with a 300%
what's up, Jitspo?
handicap. You know, Hero's a lot closer to that crazy extreme than Game & Watch will ever be. It's a false equivalency. It's like whataboutism to say that Game & Watch has anything to do with Hero.
I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from. I don't disagree with you, but I also want to let it breathe.
I want him to stay unbanned personally, because I just want to keep watching Parappa
right.
Picking up better players.
I mean, you just got to play around him. You just got to know the matchup, and you can argue that there is no matchup. He's just going to crit you and you're going to die, but you can play the keep away game, play have a pocket character that's okay at, against Hero,
You're right.
Maybe play Game of Watch. Maybe play, if it throws a thwack at you, catch the thwack with the bucket, boom, bucket.
You're right. You're absolutely right in 90% of cases. And then every once in a while.
So then there's a 10% chance.
You're saying
an upset. There's a 10% chance
that he didn't earn.
All right.
That's my whole argument. Is that you are right most of the time, but occasionally Hero is going to pull out an upset he didn't earn, and there's already videos of it.
Right? I got you.
It's already out there.
I got you.
So it's already happened.
Actually, the video you sent me, that fucking guy played very well. Like even if he wasn't playing Hero, he probably would have kicked that guy's ass. He really did have some good reads.
He got a couple good reads, but like the first game was incredibly close.
Yeah.
And then the second game was just like there was some immaculate like god level bullshit.
I know. I agree.
Like you can get a couple of good hard reads, you shouldn't lose the whole game from a couple of hard reads.
I agree.
And they were like, it was like, well, and then he got 2 heals. I forgot to mention the guy.
He got 3. He got
the guy healed himself back to 0 damage. It was a JV 4 stock.
Yeah, he had 3 stocks. It was as if he played it's like as if he never got hit the entire match. It's like he never got hit. It was stupid. It was dumb.
He got a JV 4 stock. It's the first time somebody's ever been hit and got a JV 4 stock.
Yeah, it's
like the first time you've ever been hit and got a perfect match in Smash.
It's silly.
Jitspo.
I agree.
How you doing, man? What have you been playing? And how's your game coming along?
Yeah, man. Let's get the Jitspo up to date. Do we have the Jitspo graphic going?
Oh no, I burned that.
Oh, you burned the digital graphic of.
Yeah, man. Don't call me out on it.
Okay.
You're making me look bad in front of all of our friends.
All right.
What have you been playing, Alex?
Yeah, man. So I've been playing. Yeah, that was the
self-combust.
that was the problem.
Can't keep that man contained in any file.
You know what? That's a good Jitsbo. If you were to be a computer file, what would your dot be? Dot what?
Ooh.
You know, I feel like that's
Your
a
extension.
good question, right? Your extension, PNG, EXE, IO.
That man is an executable file.
You know,
I wonder, like, I don't even know what I would be. Does that mean I don't know who I am?
yeah.
I would be a
I think you
PDF.
got to go soul
Ugh.
searching.
Fuck, man.
Think
I'm
about
gonna
it,
be-
Jitsbo.
I'm a .txt.
That's so depressing. Dot
Come on, man.
.txt.
You're just gonna let anybody get in there and edit you? At least
Easy
we
to
need
read you.
some
There you go.
Sort of
Just
software.
rewrite me. It's for the best.
Stuff me in a folder. Never look at me ever again.
So, yeah, use me to jot down a note, and then you're not even going to save that file. It's going to be that thing that stops your computer from shutting down, because it's like, oh, Windows tried to shut down, but this program's still
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
Untitled.txt. And you're like,
You click the I don't give a fuck button.
shut down anyway. I'm that.
Read me. Yeah, that's true.
Read me.
That's true. That is way more discarded than a .txt. Yeah, man. Games, right?
Peggy 16.
I've been playing one, Peggy 16. This
What have you been
game
playing?
just came out recently. It's called Age of Wonders Planetfall. I am not familiar at all with any other Age of Wonders game, so this is my first into the to the franchise. So I'm not entirely sure if it's even a sequel. It doesn't seem like one. It seems like it's a completely owned standalone game. But man, it's cool. If you are a fan, what?
That's it.
Man, it's
Stop
cool.
there.
Two
That's
thumbs up.
Alex's review. Man, it's cool.
Did somebody hand
That's
you
on the box.
Alex?
Man,
Did somebody pay you to
it's
say
cool.
that?
Alex. Yeah.
And man, it's cool.
So yeah.
Peggy 16.
So if you're a fan of XCOM, or if you're a fan of the Total War series, it kind of has a feel like that a little bit. You'd probably love this game because it's both of those combined. So the way that it works is there's an overworld where you are controlling a civilization and you're spreading out. It's a 4X game. So you start small, you start in a little base, and then there's zones. There's like parameters set to seclude zones from each other. So if you take over this zone, you get these resources. If you take over this zone, you get these resources. So you're just spreading out, building an army, what have you, taking over other people. There's diplomacy where you can trade with other factions. So this is footage of the campaign because there's a whole storyline. And it starts with 3 different races that you can choose from. Each race has their own campaign line with their own story. The stories are actually pretty good. It's cool because in a game like this, you're also given options, paths to go down. So while you're in the middle of a game, you're completing quests. Games don't take that long. They took me long time to time because I'm a fucking idiot, so it was just like user error the entire time. But yeah, so far the campaign missions that I've done have not taken too long. I've not gotten very far into it. I'm on maybe the 5th mission, and there's I think like 10, 11, maybe 12 of them. So yeah, you just play as these different races, and I have footage to show you the different races later. But so this game has a lot to it. You customize your armies, giving it gear. You can gear up your different. You have different decisions on what to give them, but each army takes up. Each army has 6 slots that you can put units into. As you can see on the bottom there, that's a full army, those 6 units. And then in those units...
all move together?
Yeah, they all move
you
as
put
one
units into.
unit. There's like a leader. There's a leader that controls the army, and you move around the map with that character. You can have several armies at the same time. That's pretty much the gist of it. That's pretty much the jitspo of it. Is you're supposed to have about like 6 or 7 armies kind of spreading out, completing quests, taking over land, just picking up resources that you find on the ground and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's fun. There's, like I said, there's so much to it. There's like 2 research trees.
Is there a tutorial?
Yeah, there's a tutorial. It's surprisingly enough super easy to get into. The tutorial is so good at teaching you exactly. The computer is so good at teaching you exactly what needs to be done.
Right.
It's fantastic, and you know what's cool about the tutorial too is it kind of like lets you find your own way. So like, you know, it gives you a direction, but then as you start doing stuff, whenever you do something new, a tutorial will pop up and it'll be like, this is what you're about to do. Instead of like, here, go over there. Hey, do this, and we'll tell you what that does. It's just like as you press buttons on the menu, they're like, this menu does this. This is how you go through that.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that a lot better than just like step by step them holding your hand, because you can kind of play around with shit right from the bat. You know, you can go at your own pace.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of customization to it. Like I said, there's like 2 full research trees, and there's 6 different races that you can play, and every race has like different research trees, and they go deep. I have yet to finish a single tree, like, because it takes so many rounds to research stuff. So I don't know what the top units even look like yet, because I have not unlocked them.
How long is like your average turn?
Your average turn, I mean, depending on what you do, like if there's a combat, obviously it'll be longer. But you move a few characters. If you got to build something, you build something. The game is very good at letting you know that you have stuff to do. If you see the mini-map on the bottom right where it says the growth faction demands, if you just click on that, it'll pop up exactly what it wants you to do. And then it'll like tell you if there's armies that you still haven't moved or, you know, engaged with or anything like that.
It seems like it presents you with the information you need.
Definitely.
When you need it.
Yeah, it makes sure that you get everything done you need to get done before you end your turn.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. So and turns can be a single click because you can like queue up moving paths for your armies so that you could just hit end turn and they'll move exactly in the direction that you told them to the previous turn.
Nice. Okay.
So this is what the combat is like. This is me entering a combat. It's a very, very weak enemy, so you'll see me decimate it. But so there's kind of like in Fire Emblem, if you have if you put 2 armies adjacent to an enemy and then attack with one of those armies, both of your armies go into the combat to kind of bolster your numbers.
Okay.
So you kind of want to move as well in packs with your armies so that you just have as much units as you can possibly move with. So yeah, really cool. A lot of fun. The combat is great. It plays just like XCOM. You take turns. It's a tactics game.
You take cover?
Yeah, and there's cover, you know, hiding behind rocks. Obscuring vision works. Every time you do an attack, there's a % chance to miss, and it tells you exactly what is making you miss. Like whether there be other units that are in the way of the shot, if they're behind cover, if they have a buff that might be increasing their % for you to miss. There's a bunch of different abilities, different attacks, like there's fire damage, psychic damage, bleed damage, physical damage. There's so many different types, and with the 6 races, everyone has their own style and their strengths and weaknesses in combat. It's so cool. I don't know how balanced it is because, once again, I haven't played all of the races.
Yeah.
But they all play differently. Like, my favorite one is this, like, race of dwarves that are just all about, like, area of effect attacks and, like, explosions and shit. So cool. But the race here that I'm playing right now is like these alien ants that have psychic damage, and they do psychic and like laser. What's that?
You said they were alien ants, but they don't have a farm. So.
Very good. Very good, band.
Thank you, Mike.
Jitspo, that's exactly what when I played XCOM, it was me, Mike, my friend Tim, and like someone else, and then Mike. I think in my first XCOM file, you were the only one who lived. Like out of my entire you were the sniper.
You died every time.
Yeah,
I think I died in Danny's.
Yeah.
Because Danny's saying Tom was one of my beat snipers, so I guess I used to like dance to a beat and then snipe thing.
That's exactly what he meant.
Okay, Mayhem, very cool. But yeah, so this game, super cool. The campaigns are interesting. Like I said, you have options. Like, you'll be doing a quest, and then another faction will come out of nowhere. Like, so someone will be like, hey, go into this bunker and give us research. So you go to the bunker, and the bunker's controlled like a different enemy, and that enemy will be like, why don't you turn on them, and we'll give you profits, you know? Mm-hmm. And then depending on what you choose, I think the campaigns, from what I can tell, go in a linear line. So, like, the things and the actions that you do in the first mission carry over to the second one, which I thought was cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I haven't beaten it yet, but I do plan on playing more of it.
You're just going through the campaigns now.
I'm just doing the campaigns. I haven't done multiplayer. I looked at the servers. There weren't a lot of people on, but then again, it was like 5 a.m, so that kind of doesn't
I think
really
that's
help.
prime Planetfall time, dude.
Yeah, exactly. But it is cool. I was looking through the multiplayer options, and when you're playing in multiplayer, obviously, like a game like this, it might take a while to get to your turn. So you can do either everyone move. I might have misread it, but I think it's everyone moves in real time, so that it's like a fast action kind of a game, or you do one at a time. And if you do one at a time, you can also set a setting where you can close out of the game, and when it's your turn, you'll get a notification that it's your turn. So I thought that was pretty cool, too. You can kind of have the game running in the back while you're doing other shit, and you're like, oh, it's my turn, let me go. Yeah. I haven't played a game of Civ 5 yet. I would always like to. I don't know if that's how that works. I'm going to go... So this is the custom... when you play online, you can customize your commander to what he looks like, his benefits, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool stuff. I kind of showcase some of the races here. Well, all the races here. And, some of the customization you can do with characters. Which I thought was a cool touch, too. Awesome. Right? I thought that was a cool touch, too. Like, you can select where their, like, traits are, and, I thought it's, this game so far, really good. I think it's very much worth the price. It's a big game. There's a lot you can do. Even if you don't want to play the campaign, you can even just set up, like, a regular war game against, like, 5 different computers and just play a game. If you want to do that, if that's what you're inclined to do.
How does it run?
Really well. I haven't had a single... problem.
Totally fine.
There was a bug that I did run into that was kind of annoying for a few seconds, where in combat you can speed up the enemy's move just to save time, so that it's not like a fucking really long animation. One time, for some reason, one of the enemies was moving fine in normal speed, and then I bumped it up to fast, and then it got stuck and just started spinning in circles. And then I put it to normal speed, and it kept doing that. And I was like, well, hopefully this fixes itself. And then it just did. And then the unit started moving again. But it took like 20 seconds. Right. And I was like, all right. Then there was some other problems I had, but it was complete user error. And I'm really embarrassed about it. I sent in a ticket. I sent in a fucking ticket. And I was like, yeah, it was really bad. Because the way that the campaigns work is like, the first 3 races are these dwarves, humans, and then those ants. And when you look at the menu, it shows those top 3 missions, okay? So I did the humans first, then the ants, and then the dwarves in that order. When I finished the dwarves, I look at it again, and the order again was humans, ants, dwarves. And I was like, wait, I just completed these missions. And then I went down, and it's like, this to the next mission that's grayed out and locked. And it's like, this mission will unlock when you complete this campaign mission. And I'm like, I just fucking did that. What are you talking about? I took a screenshot. I sent it to the fucking support. They got back to me. They're like, yeah, unfortunately, we can't do technical support. You would have to contact these people. And I'm like, great. So I went to that forum, made an account. I'm looking. I'm like, no one else is having this fucking problem. And then, like, I was just like looking at it, and I was reading the description of one of the campaigns that I think I beat already, and it was completely different than what I did. And I was like, wait a second. And then I clicked it, and it was completely different dialogue, a completely different mission, but just with the same race. And I'm like, well, I guess time to not respond to that ticket.
Didn't you do that with Book of Demons too? Didn't you like?
No, that was an actual bug.
Oh, okay.
But then I just like made a new file, but in a different slot, and then it started working. I don't know, it was so weird. But that actually was a bug. But yeah, I think this game. I mean, I bought it. Go ahead. What?
So it's also on console. How do you think it
Yeah.
would control with a controller?
I think it would be perfectly fine because there's no rushing at all. You're not timed on your moves.
Yeah.
You're not timed in combat either. I think it'd be
Okay.
perfectly fine. I don't see why there would be any problem.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a really good game, and I'd like to continue playing it. I want to check out the other races, like the Amazon. There's like a cyborg undead race, which looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it, and maybe I'll give an update in a future episode if you guys stick
So
around.
And you said there is there's multiplayer where you can play the game and exit out of it, and you'll get told when it's your turn again.
Yeah, I think it was more of like, I don't know if you can exit out of it, but it's more of
it's
just like a
like
minimize, and they'll let you know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
All
it's
right.
kind of like one of those like long range games of chess that you always see in the movies where somebody's like, I'm moving knight to queen's 4. And it's like you make one move and then the other guy comes back later and moves.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it was really tough. I still had to like learn exactly, because the way that the bases work, it's not weird. I'm just getting a hang of it, but it's difficult to defend yourself. Like, you almost always have to keep at least one army at your headquarters, because if you start moving away, you will get attacked.
Yeah, they're gonna take it.
And which
yeah.
is cool. Like, it's cool too. There's like abilities that you can use in this map of like you can firebomb an enemy army and they'll lose 20% HP, and then you can go into combat with them. You know, shit like that. But you have to
Right.
pay the resources and research that for that to even happen. But yeah, I mean, I like the combat. I like the civilization kind of upkeep. Like, you have to keep your citizens happy, or else they'll start to riot, and then you have to impose martial law and start killing them off every 3 turns until they stop rioting.
You like that, don't you? You sick son of a bitch.
Yeah, man, I love
You got a big
love
smile
martial
starter
law.
smiling.
about putting down the.
Dude, when there's civil unrest out there, I'm going out there with a revolver. Cactus knows. I'm gonna call Cactus on the
You're
red
going out-
phone and be like, Cactus,
Let me catch up.
it's hunting time, boy.
Thrill Johnson. Did you guys play? You had like a work game going for XCOM Jispo? That sounds awesome.
Jesus Christ, Jitspo.
Thrill Johnson. Oh, I've had the messenger was on my list. What? Yeah, I've heard about it. I never got around to looking it up. What kind of a game is it? Civilians are interesting. Oh, okay.
Being
Gotcha.
summoned to deal death right now.
Oh, I see. Okay, I misunderstood. Thrill Johnson.
Thrill Johnson. But yeah, man. So that's
Did you
Planetfall.
play anything else?
No, just that. I also
Yeah.
was playing Smash because there was a tournament over the weekend, so I got the bug. And I'm
Oh,
like,
did you go to a tournament?
no.
No, you probably just watched.
No, there was the I told you about the tournament over the weekend, and then I texted you updates about what was going on in it.
I'm like a fucking goldfish though.
Yeah.
How are you worse at the? How do you both have? How did I manage
I
to
don't
just
know.
work
I
with
don't
the
know.
two people with zero memory? Neither of you guys can remember anything.
I don't know where I am.
I
I'm
spend it all-
surprised we can do this every Tuesday.
I spend it all at the office, Mike. I get home and I'm like the most like hollowed out husk of a human being at
Yeah.
the end of the day. Mentally, it's
Dude,
ridiculous.
seriously, I get home from work and my brain just like, it's almost like the MIB guys are like, and they just fucking go like that, and I'm like, oh
just
yeah,
dead.
all right, I'm gonna go eat
It's-
sushi now.
I think somebody does that to you when you get to work too.
yeah, most definitely.
They put it
Yeah.
back in. They take it out at the end of the day, and they put back in whatever had them going.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Age of Wonders Planetfall. It's a fun game.
Looks awesome.
I say you go pick it up if you enjoy games like that. If you got some time.
Yeah,
Is that a full
you
price
got it
game?
on.
Yeah, it's full price on Steam. Yeah.
You got it on the ProJuice account, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Cool. Might
okay.
take a
Yeah, I might have
peek.
to check that out.
No, Tom, you don't have access to that.
Oh.
We changed all the passwords.
You got to sub to the channel first in order to get
I
it.
already am.
Yeah, all right. I'm talking about 10 tiers, Tom. I'm not talking about this $5 bullshit.
Jitspo, when you say retro-ish game, what does it play like? All right, awesome. Well, I think that's about everything we all played.
Yeah.
Move on to some news.
Except for City of Heroes, if you want me to show your character right now.
Show you what?
Show you my City of Heroes character, dude?
Oh, you have a picture of it?
No, I don't. I'd have to pull up the
He's literally
game
gonna
and then launch it and then put it on the stream.
Wow, what a world we live in.
But he's very excited about his City of Heroes character.
It's
'cause
really,
he's offering to do that, so
it's really not great.
we should let him do that.
Let's pull up an article. Let's talk about some news first, and then while you're that, I won't listen at all, and I'll pull up City of Heroes, and the noise will confuse everyone and throw everyone off.
Hold on, I gotta. Jitspo, you've never like. When you say you didn't really play retro games, like the extent of that. Did you play like Mario Brothers? Metroid?
Just about how old are you?
Any of those? I think
He's like
9,
47.
or he just turned 9.
9 or 47.
He
It's-
told us
it's-
both way different things then. Okay, all right. It's as long as you've had some exposure to it. I would have said I'm very surprised if you hadn't.
Well, what does he mean by Mario?
Mayhem is pumped for
Is he
news.
talking about Odyssey? Because that's not a
No,
retro
no,
game.
no. No, he's talking about the old games.
I say if he's 9, he might think that's a retro game.
It's not 9. He has a full mustache.
So he's 47.
Yes, I told you that.
No, he's 9. So
9.
You just said
Oh,
9.
he's 9. Okay, there he is. Yeah, oh, that's his mustache.
There you go.
Yeah, right. So he's 47. Got it.
All right, Alex, pull us up number 1.
I don't know.
Numero-
What do you mean? For me to
No,
pick?
Grab
The
us an
article.
Oh, I'm picking the first article we do?
I
Throw
want
it
to see
up.
Phil
All right, let's do
Spencer's
with... I want to
smiling
hear your
face.
hot take on this story. Here, click for more treatment options. Okay, Destructoid.
Yeah.
Well,
this is,
okay, so Destructoid
I
treats
don't remember
genital warts.
Oh.
So, they're just giving you different options. Click that
And
banner.
Cooking
They'll show
Mama.
you all the things that they can do for you. And oh, look, while you're at it, get your vegetarian gaming fix. Cooking Mama for Nintendo Switch will include vegetarian options on the upcoming title.
Thank
Cooking Mama,
you.
Coming Home to Mama.
Finally, what we've all been asking for.
Cures for genital warts.
Yeah, cures
No,
for
no,
general
Nobody
warts.
gives a
Yeah.
shit about
General warts.
Yeah.
General War.
Well, thanks for pulling this one up, dude. So this is big news. Cooking Mama's gonna have vegetarian
Yeah,
options.
it's big.
You
I
sent
wanna
it to
hear-
us. We had to read this.
You
so now
told
tell
me
us-
you had a hot
tell us
take.
about it.
That was a joke.
Well, now the joke's on you.
All right. Well,
Well, hey, this is good news for our vegetarian friends, both at home and abroad. More options is a good thing for consumers. More representation. Let's tear down these walls, guys. There's not just meat out there.
True that.
Okay.
What
All
is
right.
it? I want to do this.
we'll do a little softball one first then.
So, yeah. This was just wanted to touch on this because we touched on some of their labor issues that they were having when these news stories broke. Let me pull up my link here so I can give it a read along with you.
Yeah, this is pretty. It's pretty cool. It's pretty-
Yeah, so, obviously because of some of the negative attention they were getting, Rockstar went ahead and made a few changes They haven't really come out and said it, but it seems like some people within the company are speaking. And the game testers over at Rockstar Lincoln in the UK are now being converted to full-time employees, so they're not getting, I guess, as fucked over as they were.
I hope.
Question mark?
Because
I don't know.
They could
I don't
just be
know how it works.
reporting that. Yeah.
I don't know how it works
Because-
over in the UK, but in the US, contractors, you can't contract somebody without paying them time and a half over 40. Like, there's just like no such thing as a contract that works that way. And then, when you full time, you exempt. So
I think it
you
was
don't have to
also
pay 'em
like
for over 40. So
part
they
of
might
it,
have been making more money before. They have better
Yeah.
job security now, but they may have taken pay cuts. But I'm assuming that it's good because the coverage is
Cool.
like pretty positive about this.
Yeah.
And you would think that somebody would have come out and said, "Yeah, I mean it's nice, we've got more security, but we're not
Right,
making
right,
as much
right.
money anymore."
Well, they seem to have rolled in a few other things, such as like they rolled back the. I know Alex, your workplace does this. They previously workers weren't allowed to keep their cell phones at their desks; they had to keep them in lockers.
But that's current. That's to this day.
At your place, yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rockstar
Gotcha. Yeah.
apparently, according to Kotaku's source, Rockstar has rescinded that, and apparently they're also experimenting with flex time, which is allowing their workers to do their work hours when they want.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, it'd be really helpful,
Hey.
especially. Yeah,
No, my
yeah,
company
I'm
does
sure.
that too.
Well, Jisbo in the UK they have, I believe they have free healthcare there. So,
Oh,
unless
yeah.
you're using your phone at work. Wait, that's
Mayhem, I've worked there 10 years, so I don't really care. People, everyone catches me on my phone. It's like a thing now. But everyone
it's like
does on their
amazing that you're not fired.
I know the things I've done that I can't say on stream.
And just for a contract position like this, these aren't really independent contractors. Like I don't know if you're in the U.S., but like in the U.S., there are contracting companies that like get fat and happy off of selling the labor of air quotes professionals to other folks. Those companies do provide benefits to their contractors. They just aren't great. They're usually, but they don't want their contractors to die, so they just give them really shitty, expensive health insurance. But they're still getting some health insurance, generally. But this is in the UK, so who fucking knows?
Well, it is a signal that things are changing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still
it's
think
good.
they-
it's a first step.
It's pretty good. Now, the one
Seems
thing
like-
that I don't
sorry.
like about this article is that they didn't give Hassan Minhaj the nod. Like, we go down to the very last line of this article, like the very last thing they say. Like, yeah. So they're like, some guy on Netflix said something about this too.
Oh yeah,
Hassan Minhaj did an hour-long special on this.
not that far
and
down.
then
Alex.
Yeah, I know. I just hoped I would find a funny comment, but it's
No.
just people actually talking.
and then it changed. Now, granted, like journalists and articles like this is how it got started. But I think that because it got to that level, like that's why finally something is kind of happening. So it's encouraging to see.
Yeah. More exposure, the better.
Yeah. 'Cause you got to give my man with the wild gesticulation and the tall hair.
He moves his hands way too much.
He moves his hands so
It's-
much.
It's offensive to me as a
It's-
viewer.
it's
I don't know
difficult
if
to watch.
he's. I don't know if he's like trying to throw something at me or signaling rude gestures at me. It's there's a lot going on when I'm watching him.
He's so I feel him though. I understand like he's so sure that the things that he's saying are right that he has to gesticulate wildly and like assert himself with his physical presence over and over again. Something about
Yeah, that's
that,
one way to do it, I suppose.
something about that just like, yeah, I see you, Hassan.
But that was a good episode. Anybody interested should definitely check that out.
Yeah, what the hell's the name of the show? I can't remember right now.
Patriot
Act.
Act. I believe.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, man.
What else we got here?
Okay, let's let's talk about this a little bit, I guess.
Ooh,
This little
okay.
ditty here.
Mm-hmm.
It was confirmed that Riot is officially working on a fighting game.
Yeah. Yep. There's as I was saying before, there's no information on what it actually is. They just kind of came out and were like, "Yeah, we're making a fighting game." And people are like, "Oh yeah, sure, okay, very cool."
Yeah, you said it was something that you'd be interested in.
Yeah, definitely. I was saying to you, with a game with a company like Riot, despite the controversy that they've been getting into recently, League of Legends is a decently easy game to get into. They make you understand it, and it's one of those games that is it's easy to pick up because you pick a character that you only have 4 spells to cast, so it's kind of easy to pick up. The objective is pretty clear, easy to pick up, very difficult to master, obviously, with fucking millions of dollars in the esports and all that stuff. But so when it comes to a fighting game, I'm sure that they're going to handle it with the same kind of care. Plus, they have a huge budget to work with. A lot of talented people at that company. So I think they're going to take pretty good care of it. I'm scared as to what their monetization is going to be like, because
I imagine it'll be free.
Right, you would think so.
Probably.
So hopefully,
With I guess insane, like something similar to Killer Instinct's model.
Yeah. I mean, it would probably be similar to League of Legends model, where it's free, but you got to buy heroes, and then they're on like a free rotation. Because, I mean, it worked for them once. Why wouldn't it work for them again?
Do you think they could
Killer Instinct
really,
did.
like, Alex, you know way more about FGC than I do, so, like, do you honestly think it's possible to put out characters at the volume and pace that Riot did for League for a fighting game?
No, probably not, because League of Legends now is at like 150 something characters.
Yeah, it's like what, 20 years to get to 70.
Yeah, right. So, I don't know. I don't know, because I mean, I don't know if they're going to take like the traditional approach that the fighting games have been doing, where they just like release packs of people, or if they're going to take the League of Legends approach, where they kind of release one at a time at a price that's higher than everyone else, just because he's new and people want to grab him. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm hopeful, but I'm scared because they technically, like, they are one of the first companies that were using loot boxes like way back in the day before Overwatch even came out.
Right.
So, and then that obviously turned into what it is now. But I mean, before that, they were pretty fucking fair with their prices, I felt, and their game. You played, you unlocked shit. I never unlocked every champion that they have in the arsenal of units that you can get.
Is that a thing that people do? Do people ever actually get all the
Oh
characters?
yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I'm
You
sure
could just
there's
spend
people
money.
that are
You could
playing
spend
for it.
money, or there's people that
What does
have been
that
playing
cost?
for
Like, what does that cost somebody to come
a
up with all
lot
characters?
of money.
Thousands?
A lot.
How much
a lot.
is each character?
It depends on when they come out, because they come out, prices drop after like 6 months or something. I forgot what the model is exactly, but it can be anywhere from, I guess,
Well,
when
what does a new character cost?
So I don't know the things by heart, but if
Swag.
so Riot points is the currency that you use with real money. You pay real money, you get Riot points. It's 975 Riot points for a new champion, and 6,300 IP for it, which is the in-game currency that you just build up.
So is that like $9?
Maybe, yeah, right?
Or...
Cactus, like $15. It's
Oh,
like
wow,
it's
that's
not
pricey.
cheap. Yeah, because
Wow.
they also do it
What,
like
for
every
one character. That's
this
not
is
for a pack.
the problem, Tom, is that
$15?
the problem is, like every other game where you have to fucking use money to buy a currency in the game, they fuck you up with the ratio. Like, you'll spend $20 and then you'll buy one champion, but you'll just be short buying a second one, so you have to spend more money. I think it's one of those situations where, like, you can put in $10 and you probably can afford a champion. I would probably say it's 10. 15 seems like it's pretty high. 12, 15,
10
yeah.
10 sounds
Yeah.
about like what I would expect because the game is free to play, but 15 seems
Yeah.
like 50% more than I was expecting.
Yeah. But champions come out in windows long enough that when you buy the newest champion, you have plenty of time to get back up to 6,300 to buy the next one without having to spend a dime. I've done it plenty of times, so. So yeah.
Yeah.
I just I'd like to see
the model you were talking about is exactly what Killer Instinct does. I feel like that's something they're likely going to adopt. Is that rotating list of characters?
Okay, yeah, that are free to play, but then
Right, there's like two
Okay.
characters that
Yeah.
are free, and that changes
Yeah.
every month or every week. And
that's definitely
you
what
can
they're
just-
gonna do.
You
Yeah.
can buy the other ones. I don't know.
What's that
I don't
roster?
think you can buy them with in-game. There's no like in-game currency in Killer Instinct. It's just buy who you want or play the free ones when they're free.
Right.
It's been a while since I played it, but
Yeah.
It's a Microsoft game, so
It'll
they
be
don't. They're
interesting
not
to
gonna. They're not gonna play with currencies. They just want you to buy. Microsoft. You buy it. straight
yeah,
from
for the most part, their first-party games don't really dabble in that shit.
Yeah, they don't fuck with that.
But
But
3 years ago, to buy every character, it cost $700 in League.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That's
that's 3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, it's
imagine
it's
today
expensive.
it
I know someone personally who has spent over $1,000 in that game
On
I guess
Killer
there's no
Instinct?
reason to buy.
on League of Legends.
Oh, okay.
Right? There's no reason to actually buy every character.
No.
You can probably just.
No, like I said, I came like 15, 16 short when I was like actually playing the game of the characters, but those 15, 16 I would never use anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have
no
them because
reason.
they never interested me.
Yeah, yeah.
Master Yi is all you need. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know somebody who spent $7,000 on Castle Crashers, so I mean,
Oh.
What? That
Like-
game have microtransactions?
What? Castle
somebody
Crashers?
spent $3,000
No, you mean
on that
Clash
game.
Royale. You mean
Clash of Clans.
Yeah,
Clash of Clans.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Clash of Clans.
Oh, okay.
$7,000 on Clash of Clans.
It's like,
That must have
It's
been
like, how
so
many times did you
confusing, Mike. You're like,
buy that?
doesn't that game like $2 now?
yeah. It's like, I feel like
They
I've
bought it 3,500 times. They just loved it so much. They bought it on every device for every person
handing it
that
out.
they knew. But yeah,
But yeah.
Clash of Clans is what I meant to say. But yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. Some of these games are just, there's a
500
pretty
copies.
fucking.
But yeah, I think
I
I
did-
think
Wells.
I think Riot is going to take care of it. I think Riot also has innovators. Like when I was ranting about auto chess being like the next big thing, it could be cool, etc., etc. Riot took that and really made it their own in a different way. The changes weren't huge, but they at
Yeah, I've
least
heard the
tried
opposite.
to
I've heard
mix
they-
it up.
They were a little less subtle in their copycatness. Than
Oh yeah, it's totally.
Valve is.
They literally copied and pasted it, but the little things that they added to change it is what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be a fighting game at heart. They're not going to change it so much that the genre is not even the fucking same as any other fighting game. But the things that they usually add, the things that they innovate are cool. So yeah, I'm excited
Yeah.
for it. I'm going to shove the game up my ass.
Ooh, yeah, it's becoming very, very quickly becoming an incredibly crowded genre.
Yeah, right.
So
Yes, there's a lot
I
of
mean,
indie.
if anybody
people
can make a
trying to-
game that
Yes.
stands out, it's them.
Yes.
But also at the same time, it's now making it much harder for maybe some of the smaller developers to be seen. So
And that's-
hopefully they do something interesting, unique
Yep.
that pushes the genre forward, and not just like try and be like me too.
Well, I think they should go
Hashtag
after
me too,
Smash.
but
I don't
what?
think they should go after. I don't think they should go after Street Fighter. I think that if nobody is going after the platform fighter, so I mean, we don't know what this game is, right? Nobody's seen anything.
Not
about
on a
it,
big
so-
scale
Well, I
level,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, like there's
There's a lot of it,
Brawlhalla
like, really-
and
yeah,
Rivals,
like Brawlhalla,
Rivals of
Rivals of
Aether,
Aether.
right?
Yeah, but it's not like Street Fighter and like
No,
Guilty Gear and Tekken,
Right.
and all the
Yeah,
other
nobody's going
2D
after the
fighters.
big one.
There's no other heavy hitter in the platform fighter. There's a bunch of weird little indie games. So I mean, honestly, Riot is in a position, and I think the platform fighter is ripe for disruption. I think a competitor in the platform fighter space makes sense right now,
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
I
with how
agree.
popular
that would be
Ultimate
really
is.
interesting.
that would be very interesting. Yeah,
You know,
I'd shove that game on my
unless they
ass.
bring
you know?
back, unless they bring back PlayStation All Star Battle Royale, and nobody was ready
Oh
for it.
man, that
Dude,
I keep forgetting that game existed.
I
That was a game.
I
That's
played.
what you can
Oh
say
god,
about it.
it was right. Yeah, yeah. The game
Sure, it was a
turned
game.
on, and then nothing else after that.
And then you played it. It was a game.
I don't think I didn't play it at all. I just
Oh, it was
remember reading
bad.
reviews.
Yeah,
You
Hey,
played
Heaton
it, Alex?
Isambard would
Yeah.
pay $7,000 for that.
I don't
game.
remember. I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't remember if we like rented it or if we bought it. I don't think I would ever buy that game, but I definitely played it in the basement, and I was like,
In the basement.
Oh, it had
in
Dante
the
in it,
basement.
and it was the wrong Dante. Why did they do that? Like, for any Devil May Cry fan, they put Dante in a fighting game, and everybody's like, Dante, yeah! And then they saw him, and it was the DMC version of Dante with the black hair and the angsty outlook and the less funny everything. It's just like,
Oh man.
no, why? And that was a
They did
death
have
I just
the,
remember
the
playing
Big
that
Daddy from
Cupcake Girl or
BioShock.
whatever. What'd they have?
You would
Didn't
play
they have a
Cupcake
Big Daddy
Girl.
from BioShock as one of the
They did.
characters?
Yeah,
Big
yeah. Yep.
That's on my alley. I should have bought
Or
it.
like, don't Tay.
If Alex shoves a game up his ass, it's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know it,
moving
man.
on. What's next up on the docket here?
What we got?
Rockstar has been right. Imagine. I
Rockstar's
didn't
been
switch out the
complaining
article,
Has-
so we
has
still
been
have
what?
this one. So if you could just send me the link,
change
I can
the,
update it.
Did they
'cause,
change the title?
You could just put it in there. It's fine.
Wait, put what in there?
I don't know. You said you didn't switch something out.
Yeah,
Just
wasn't
did
there
you
an
have?
article that replaced this article? You said there was like a follow up to this one where their
Oh,
stance
it's
on
fine.
loot
You can
box.
just leave it in there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but this,
All right,
this,
let's
this
talk
feels
about it.
better because it makes more sense.
So yeah, last week the big three came out and said that they will not support, they will not allow games, or they would be going towards some sort of solution towards games with loot boxes, leaning towards they will not support or allow games on their consoles with loot boxes unless the publisher discloses the win rates. And then just recently, I believe, I don't know if it was today or in the last few days, Nintendo came out and added on top of that, and I'm trying to find the quote here that I had and then somehow got rid of. So now I'm stalling by talking very slowly.
Yeah, I
They
believed
are in
it.
some
Here it
countries.
is.
Yes.
And in some countries, you can't even sell loot boxes anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, depends on where you are, right? But we're in America, so we got to deal with loot boxes still.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you're saying?
So Nintendo came out and said, as part of our ongoing efforts in this area, Nintendo will require disclosure of drop rates in Switch games that offer randomized virtual items for purchase, such as loot boxes. This requirement will apply to all new games and includes updates to current games that add loot boxes through in-game purchases. That applies to all Switch games, not just first-party titles.
Yep.
Um,
Whereas
But
Sony
they came out
just
and said that, right, yeah, because Sony came out and just said, we support industry efforts to disclose the probability of obtaining randomized virtual items, known as loot boxes, and are committed to providing consumers with the information for all games we produce and publish.
Was Sony sure on that loot boxes? Did they mean to say surprise mechanics? How
AKA, as you kids say, loot boxes.
loot boxes? We in the industry, surprise mechanics.
Oh, surprise! Everyone's having fun. Give us your money.
It's so funny seeing these two responses, and then also just reading that article that GameSpot put out about Phil Spencer, and how these are such PR fucking ass PR responses. I mean, at least Nintendo is a lot more direct and less vague, but Sony's is just the most automated email response you'll ever receive to anything.
Something's going on over there.
So
dude.
Sony at least in theirs they do say that any first party title is going to disclose moving forward. that's something. It's still nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's still like drops in the hat. Nintendo, I wouldn't even accuse them of PR speak on this one. They just said, if you're gonna put the game on our system, you better fucking disclose the loot box. What's in the loot box and what are the chances?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very plain English and they only speak Japanese.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody at Sony speaks English.
Nobody at Sony does, and nobody at Nintendo speaks English. Not even Reggie Fils-Ames. That's why the famous
The
"My Body
Nintendo
is
of
Mine."
America
That's
president.
why it even happened.
Yeah, just I would imagine they'd have to be very forthcoming with that same exact information as well. You know, it starts at this, and the percentage goes up, and I don't know why they wouldn't want to be, in terms of just like making it more appealing for people, but.
Oh, because the people with problems don't want to know. They just want to keep buying.
I mean, that might even make it better to be like, oh, if I buy more of these, my chances go up. Yeah, let me buy a whole bunch.
You actually, yeah, you are right. It could work the other way.
But yeah, so I feel like we'll be looking at a very different playing field for this stuff next generation, or whenever the next generation consoles launch.
I hope
You know,
so.
presumably we'll be presented with a bunch of new storefronts and maybe some new technologies that developers can utilize. So things are finally starting to be like moving forward in terms of at least some sort of ownership and responsibility of the issue.
Yeah, if there's any chance to keep the government out of regulating this, that's where we want to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's a plus.
And the thing that's
Yeah,
been very discouraging to me up to this point is that it seemed like that was not going to be an option. It didn't occur to me that the big three could come out. They could, into their own hands, create an environment that would make it impossible for those who are selling loot boxes to continue to do so the way that they are, or to keep pushing
right.
the envelope.
I like it.
So at least we're trying to slow them down a little bit.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. Things were getting pretty fucking dark.
Yeah, things are looking pretty fucking dystopian.
Yeah, with that, I'm so glad that backlash came in from the fucking Battlefront 2 shit, because that was like, whoa, easy now, fellas. And then those
Yeah.
fucking microtransactions, like, this is how you manipulate customers into buying things. Like, all right, let's settle down, all right?
It's like, you're right, but, you know, inherently you're wrong on an ethical level.
Right, yeah. Well,
Yeah, no, Cactus. The idea here is that these developers do need to find new revenue streams.
Yeah.
So it's trying to find a way forward that both the developers and the consumers are happy with.
And people are figuring out, like, I mean, I know it's tough, but like, I don't mind battle passes. Battle passes are fine. Pay a little extra money if you're gonna play the fucking game as much as the battle pass expects you to. Then go ahead and do it. You know.
Yeah, you know what though? With Dauntless, like recently, I bought like the next season pass, and then I bought like the booster for experience, and then I was playing it, and I got to a point with it where I was playing it every day because I had spent that money, and not because I actually enjoyed the game.
Okay.
And so I stopped. So I actually stopped. Like, I bought like a month's worth of like boosters and like it was like 2 months worth of boosters and experience and all that shit. And then I was in like 4 or 5 days into that cycle, and I realized that I kind of hated the game, and I just stopped. And they still had my money, but you know, it was, you know, the games. To Cactus's point, the way these games work at this point, when it comes to trying to get the recurrent user spending, it's not about selling an honest product for an honest dollar. It's about trying to hook a consumer and getting them to keep spending and always keeping a carrot on the stick. You know, and there's a line. It's kind of like the same thing we we're talking about with Dragon Quest before, like Hero. There's a line. Where is the line? Who goes over it? Who doesn't? How do we draw it? That's the moment that we're living in right now, is to find that spot, because it's impossible for these companies at this point. Like, just knowing the way that capitalism works and the way that the growth piece of publicly traded companies works, there's no going back. Like, they can't go back. They can't just stop making billions of dollars off of hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of investment. You can't do that. You can't, it's not.
Well, yeah, and then along with that, to Jitspo is bringing up good points in terms of the cost of development. Like, new revenue streams do need to be found in order for games to be supported to the degree that they are supported. You know,
Well,
it's
the thing is it's not even about support and revenue and margin. It's gone beyond that. Like you talk about quarterly growth, and you talk about, like, look at Activision stock over the course of the last 10 years, and then look at the number of games that they put out. Look at the budget of each of the games that they put out. Then look at the EBITDA for the company itself. And it's actually kind of the same thing that the Bernie Sanders of the world will argue. They kind of look at the big picture and they say, okay, so, like, the top 1% of the economy is getting like several $trillion of additional wealth, and then the bottom 50% over the course of that same period is like losing, I don't know, some number of billions of dollars of wealth. You can't, don't look at me all crazy like that. This is I'm not
I'm
being
confused at what you're getting at.
I'm not being a socialist here. All I'm saying is that those companies are making record profits. All the money is going to the publisher
Right.
as profit. They're making fewer games. The individual games may have more investment in them, but the overall return on the investment is so much higher than anything they had ever even, like, you can't compare the ROI on a product from 10 years ago to the ROI on a product now with microtransactions.
Right. But yeah,
You can't.
that's what I'm saying. Like, the cost of making games is so high, so much that
It's not that
games
high.
need to be. Yes, it is.
No,
Games
no,
need
no,
to.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about
Yes,
the profits of the
Tom.
publisher.
On a AAA scale, the cost of making games is enormous.
It is enormous. It's millions and millions of dollars, but
So games,
this.
and the price point of purchasing games hasn't moved. So finding
Yeah,
new revenue streams is a necessity.
it is. You're right. You are right about that. But what I'm saying is that the balance has tipped. So, like, a game may have cost $10 million to make 10 years ago. Now it costs $100 million. It's 10 times more expensive, and it still costs $60, right?
Right.
But the game made a 10 times flip on its investment before, and now makes 100 times flip on its investment. So you're going from, basically, it cost me 10 million to make, I made 100 million. That was pretty good. But now it cost me 100 million to make, so the cost to make it went through the roof. But I made 2 billion or whatever. And then when you look at it from a percentage perspective, and I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass, but
Yeah, of course.
they're making way more money on the investment. The investment up front is a lot higher, but the return is also orders of magnitude higher. So you can't
Right.
look at one without respecting the other. So they did the right thing in looking for new avenues of investment. You had to make more money back to make it worthwhile to make that game that's that much more expensive now. But at the same time, the numbers are just beyond comprehension. When you talk about, like, the kings
Yeah,
of the world,
of course. They definitely follow one another. For sure.
they do, but at the same time, it's kind of like, again, going to that, where do we draw the line, and where have we gone beyond what is ethical to charge for? Because
Yeah, I mean,
if
that's a discussion in and of itself.
if the game costs 10 times as much to make, then you should make 10 times as much top line. But what's happening is they're costing 10 times as much to make, but they're making like 300-400 times as much top line as they made before. So, and then all of that is going to the bottom line, and it's just going right to the profits of the company. That's why if you look at those graphs, those Activisions and those EAs, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, EA, Activision, their stock plummeted. But then if you look at it 10 years, you can't even compare, because the numbers that they're talking about are orders of magnitude larger.
You can't fault them for a company for
Making money. No, that's
for
what it's there
chasing
for.
that, though. You know.
Yeah, that's what it's there for. I'm just
Right.
saying that there's an ethical question, and then there's a how do we regulate that? How do we
Yeah.
get to the point where, Cactus is making good points down there, where he's talking about, they're making, like, sometimes sometimes you are talking about a Red Dead Redemption that costs like $100 million to make, but sometimes it's Candy Crush, and then that game makes more than Red Dead Redemption does. And then at the end of the day,
those are on different discussion levels. It's absolutely.
they are, but they aren't, because you can't talk about one without talking about the other, because why would you ever make Red Dead Redemption if you could make Candy Crush and
They're
make
for
more
different
money?
audiences.
Who cares about the audience? It's about money.
The people making the game do. That's why they're making it.
They don't
Right.
care. They care. It's a company. Companies. So it goes back to the idea of where am
I
I
mean,
as a
you
guy
can.
who's developing a
That's just a
product?
he said she said. You can tell me that all the people at Rockstar don't give a shit about games,
No, that's not what I'm
and they
talking
made.
about. That's not about. That's not what the when it comes down to what game am I gonna make? What game am I gonna actually put my money and investment into making? It becomes very, very, very hard for folks to make the decision to put a lot of money into a high quality product, when the reality is it's much more profitable and much less risky to make something quick that you can hook someone with and then charge them recurrently for. I'm not really worried about
Right, but what
AAA
does that have to
developers
do with
right
it, though?
now. I'm worried about like so look at Nintendo and the Fire Emblem game. What the fuck is the name of that Fire Emblem game, Alex?
Three houses.
Yeah, Three
No,
Houses.
no, the one on
Oh, Heroes, Fire Emblem Heroes. Where
Fire
I
Emblem
think,
Heroes.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
Fire Emblem Heroes has made like $500 million in the last 2 years since it launched.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you're going to force companies to start looking at games like Fire Emblem Heroes instead of games like Fire Emblem's Three Houses. Why would Nintendo continue to make Fire
What
Emblem's
does that
Three
mean?
Houses? Why would you keep making that very expensive low ROI game when you could make the cheap high ROI game? How does
I
the
mean, I get what you're saying, but the point is mute because there is still this entire other console and PC market of developers pouring billions of dollars into these bigger budget games.
Well, it's not moot. I mean, I think that what happens is you leave it to smaller developers. It becomes a niche market. It becomes a market that folks with less resources might be more interested in, right? So like
Right,
as
but
the tools
that's
get,
been happening.
yeah, and
They're not
so
scaring
it's
away
actually,
big AAA games, though.
they're not yet. I mean, you can't argue that the mechanics of loot boxes have started to kind of infiltrate the AAA space and kind of reduce the quality of the average AAA game that comes out of the EA and
I'm not, but that's another
Ubisoft
discussion.
award. No, this is all related. This is all the same topic. I don't know how they're different subjects.
You're telling me that all these companies making AAA games don't want to make them because they want to make
No,
smaller
I'm
games.
saying they're getting incentivized over time. Next quarter, they've got to look at what is the next project that we're going to make. And eventually, if the money keeps going in the direction of make the cheap game with the high ROI, eventually when the guy says, "Okay, let's make this game," they either say, "Well, no, you can't make that because the ROI split is just it's not going to work for
Yeah, sure.
next quarter. It just like or the next year or the next 2 or 3 years. That product doesn't work for our projections. So then you don't make it. You make something else.
These things have been these two markets have been coexisting for almost 2 decades now. There doesn't seem to be any evidence that one is consuming the other. So
I'm not saying one's
I'm
consuming
a
the
little
other.
confused. You
I'm
are
just
though.
saying-
You're saying they're going to stop making one and move towards the other.
No,
That's effectively reducing one market and putting the resources into another market.
Am I wrong to say that game quality in the AAA space has been reduced in recent years because of a push towards invasive microtransactions? Like, is that a wrong point to make?
I would disagree with that. Yeah, it has definitely lowered the quality of certain titles. I wouldn't say overall we're getting lesser quality games.
Not overall, no, not yet. But I mean, I think the latest Fallout would have been better, right? And I think maybe the latest BioWare games might have been better, right? So it's happening in certain places.
If they were just not. I can also make the argument that those companies are just having a shot at making an online game. It could have just been an online game and it could have still been shitty because what people wanted was a single player experience, right? It's still a
Well, I
triple
mean,
A game
yeah,
though
I mean,
at the heart of it. It's
you can
not
say that, but
like they
I mean,
were like, "Hey, we're not making Fallout for consoles anymore. We're just gonna make this Fallout Shelter cash grab because it's making billions."
yeah, and
I think overall that game qualities aren't really taking a hit, but it is a title to title basis.
yeah,
For example, World of Warcraft, I feel like is a big uh, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a big Jesus Christ example of that where the game came out, they didn't look at World of Warcraft as retention over fun. Now, if you play in retail right now, it's very clear that Blizzard put mechanics into the game simply to get in your way so that you play it longer. Not because it's fun, but just to get you to play longer so you're spending money longer. And I
Yeah.
think
right.
with a game like Fallout 76, I have not played it, so this is, once again, I'm just kind of throwing shit out there. I could be very wrong, but I'm assuming a part of that is that it might feel like they took fun out of the game in order to just get you to keep playing the game. Like making mechanics that just kind of get in your way to make things fun. I don't know if Fallout, once again, I don't know if Fallout 76 does that, but just as an example,
No, Fallout 76 is just a bad game, regardless of whatever the economy
right?
is.
it is
But-
a bad game, but
but
you can't just dismiss it like
It's
that.
where I think Tom's head is at is that these companies are going to look more and more at retention rather than fun. Of, okay, we made this really fun game. Now, how can we keep bringing them back to play it? Like, let's make this game and this with battle passes and stuff. You know, you play Blackout and you're like, okay, yeah, this is kind of fun, but then they keep trying to like kind of reel you back in with like, oh, here's this event, and those events can be fun. I'm not saying that them just putting out like a game type for only 2 weeks and then taking it away is them doing retention over fun, but just like the games are going to keep having to look at, well, no one's buying our battle passes. We need people to buy our battle passes. They're not sticking around long enough to buy our battle passes. Instead of adding fun things into the game, let's add things in that are going to make their gameplay longer rather than more fun. Is where I think Tom is saying games could be heading, and there are some signs of it, like World of Warcraft, that they are heading in that direction.
And I'm not saying every game is doing this, and I'm not saying it's in destroying the whole industry. I'm not being an alarmist here. I'm just saying there's definitely signs that it's happening. It has hurt and in some cases ruined franchises. Looking at Mass Effect. I'm wearing my N7 shirt tonight, just by chance. Mass Effect is dead, mostly because of the quality of Andromeda. But that's a whole nother conversation. But I don't want to get that far off topic. But it worries me when you see that Nintendo puts out Fire Emblem, the mobile game, and by most accounts it's not very good. And they make $500 million, $250 million a year in revenue on that game. And as a company that is incentivized to make money, and you make money by returning investment in a certain period of time against a business case, I just don't know how you make the choice to continue to make the game that doesn't make that ROI in a lot of cases. So
yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know how you do that. I wouldn't do that. If I was the product manager, I wouldn't do it.
If you're looking at Nintendo and Fire Emblem, they had released Fire Emblem Heroes years ago, and they're still supporting the mainline series with a release that was less than a month ago. So there's no current evidence that it's cannibalizing it in a way that's shaping it to become something that's completely different from what it started to be.
Well, I mean, that's the evidence is like your Dead Space 3, your Fallout 76, your Anthem. Those are the disaster stories. Your World of Warcraft. I'm not saying it's happening at Nintendo. I'm saying fast forward 5-10 years, where's that path lead when you've got to keep growing the business? So,
all right, yeah. I guess we'll see. I would say other than that, agree to disagree.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's all speculation. I mean, there's
Chat
no,
here.
it's just a few hot guys talking, showing each other their pubes and stuff.
Cactus, I don't have evidence of that statement. That's why I said I have no evidence. So okay.
Mass Effect 3 had
Fallout
loot boxes,
76
but nobody
was a
cared.
bad game because it's fundamentally a bad game. Played that game for like 12 hours. It's just not very fun.
That game is
I
trash.
wasn't really getting anything shoved in my face.
But that's you though. There's a lot of people who still play Fallout 76 and they buy those microtransactions because for some reason they really like that game, right? So for that small percent of that percent of people, they're actually probably making some fairly reasonable money on the people who are buying, repair kits because it's always a small percent of a small
Right,
percent.
but those aren't like. That's not what makes the game bad. Is the case that I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I don't think that's what Tom's
Like if
saying.
that's what made the game bad, then I would still be playing it. Like the
Well,
game
what
just
made
has
what
fun.
made
Those
the
games have fundamental issues with them that
yeah, what made the game
that
bad was
are
that it was
fun.
a bad game, and there was some flawed decision making at high levels behind what kind of game were we going to make to start with. Why did we make some sort of persistent online multiplayer Fallout game instead of a traditional Fallout game? What was the impetus behind that? Was the main decision making to make microtransactions? I don't know. I mean, but it's what a lot of folks in the industry were doing, going after the Destinies of the world. Destiny had its own growing pains, its own problems, and it's still struggling with them to this day. But you know, the Fallout 76 shit game. I agree, totally bad. There's no redeeming it. It's not because of the microtransactions, but maybe it was made that way to sell microtransactions, and they just failed. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what Cactus is trying to say here. He keeps bringing up the argument of like, you say this, but I say this. It's. But again, we could say
it's
these about
hearsay.
what
It's
their
hearsay.
intention
It's
is
hearsay.
behind
You're right.
it. It's not anything. Um. Anyway, do we have any other articles queued up, Alex?
Yeah.
Do you have the one about my butt?
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, this one was at least exciting for me in terms of just because I'm not very attached to the regular Nintendo. But there are FCC filings for a wireless Super Nintendo controller by Nintendo, which when they first launched the NES online thing, you had to sign up to Nintendo's online service to get the privilege to buy their $60 wireless NES controllers. So this seems like they're heading in that direction in terms of now they're going to release a Super Nintendo controller so that it can coincide with the release of Super Nintendo games.
That's pretty
Um,
fucking cool.
Yeah, I feel like finally it's about fucking time that they've got there.
Right?
I didn't even know about the NES controller. Like that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was I think you got two of them for $60, but it was still like $60 for these two controllers that were completely unnecessary. I don't know. It's not so much the price of it. It was just like, why would anyone buy this? But I'm
Yeah.
sure a bunch of people did. Um, they're also not like the NES controller is not a very good controller. So.
No, it was like famously bad. It makes your hands
We had
really bad.
yeah, I had the blocky ones, but as soon as we picked up the ones that had the round edges rather than the fucking brick, I was like, okay, at least my hands can fucking sit comfortably holding this thing.
Yeah, it's the Super Nintendo. The exciting news about this is not so much that the controller's coming though. I think it's just like, hopefully, about fucking time they're gonna be using their backlog of titles.
Yeah, it's a great
And
backlog. Like, arguably
It's like
one
just
of the
like
best.
half of the top 100 games ever made.
Yeah.
I'm a dumb idiot. What the hell is an FCC listing? Is that like a patent? Like, what the hell? What exactly?
It's God, what is it? What does the acronym stand for? Federal Communications Commission.
Yeah, but is it?
It's like a electronic device, electronic wireless device. So I assume I don't know the ins and outs of how the patent system works.
Okay,
But
all right. Just that's what all I'm asking is.
cleared for sale.
I guess
and
if
whatnot.
FCC listing means patent, then that's okay.
Yeah, that's what they found.
Okay, all right. Yeah, man, that's cool. I wouldn't mind
So-
picking up one of those.
Yeah, I mean it would be great to get like even further than that, further than SNES and maybe some N64 games since those were also on the Wii.
What's up,
And
Mike?
while
How you
you're
doing
at it,
tonight?
maybe some Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah,
and
right.
DS
And then maybe
games
like the
and-
Wii or the Wii.
Well, I'm sure it could emulate GameCube games
Yeah.
with some, with some
Smash
elbow
Melee
grease.
comes back. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
that'll never happen, unfortunately.
With some, yeah, it'll come out at like a $300 fucking price point, and people will eat the shit out of it.
$300. Yeah.
Yeah, controllers.
Cool. Love those.
Okay. Love video games?
Nope, hate him. That guy's face brings me so much
I love
joy.
Phil
His
Spencer.
goofy little face.
Look at his little head. Look at his big head.
Are you using this as a? Oh, you were pulling up. You didn't have to pull up this article. I'm sorry. I was just.
Yeah, I
should've
don't think it's
mentioned it.
possible to even attempt to.
Well, go ahead, because
read
I
through
heard
this article.
that he beats up 11-year-olds in his bathroom. That's
Is
what
that- I
I
think it
heard. But
says
this
that in
what this
paragraph.
article. I mean, does this guy look like the type of guy that's gonna beat up 11-year-olds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a state-sponsored program. Washington has a bunch of 11-year-olds that are just going out and not getting beat up. So they,
I knew he was going in the portrait.
uh,
Oh, it got all
Nope.
screwed up.
I don't know where it
Everything's
went.
dying. The table
Well,
just moved.
That's the new
everything's
picture.
wrong.
All right.
all right, good. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, man, you're welcome. We've got one more, but the article is see-through. Do we want you want to show that and talk about that? It's a little late. It's a big topic. I don't mind talking about it. You'll watch me get riled up now because.
Yeah, it's Alex's turn.
I hate
Let Alex
things.
get angry because I kind of am okay. I'm
Well,
okay
it's not
with
even about
one.
this article. When I was talking, all right, so I'm gonna pull up and maybe highlight. No, it's not gonna work.
Why can't
this-
you just change it to white
There
in
we
the
go.
background? damn it?
Video games don't cause mass shootings, but gamer culture encourages hate. So I just wanted to talk about, even though, recently there's like that Jim Sterling video, Tom, I'm sure you saw it, about mass shootings,
Yeah.
where it's like they clearly don't believe that it actually is causing mass shootings, because otherwise they'd be fucking doing something about it. They come out, they go, hey, video games are causing mass shootings, and then they don't do anything. They don't regulate anything. They don't put anything into place to stop it. I gotta be a conspiracy theorist and say that Walmart probably got paid a lot of money to pull violent video games from their stores, because
Oh,
why
I
the
don't
f-
think they got pulled.
Why?
I think it's just. I think it's a stunt. I
I
just
think they
Really?
came out and denied it.
Yeah.
seriously, I didn't
think they
see
got
that.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh.
But
I
but
saw
will-
like
I
a
will-
picture, but I guess it's.
So I think the place that we have to start the conversation from is just that, yes, the preponderance of the evidence, and even folks who try to make the claim still have to say the preponderance of the evidence says that no, there is no causal link between playing video games
Never has been, never will.
horrible things. There never has been.
Exactly.
And people have been desperately trying to prove that,
Uh-huh.
scapegoat this
Yep.
for so many years.
And
And
plenty of studies have been done that say no. You look at any other fucking country, they say no. They're like, we play Yoshi's Island every fucking day here. We haven't had a single mass shooting in like 6 years, dude.
and they try to when you're designing an experiment. So when I was in college, I was a psych major. I did a bachelor of science in psych, and one of my statistics courses. So there's specific courses to statistics in psychology for a bachelor of science you have to take, and my whole quarter was about this topic, and was about looking up the research. And it was like 8 years ago at this point, but that was the whole thing. And every single thing, every study was like no causal link. Like they're just statistically insignificant. Like, oh, people got a little bit angry when they finished, or yeah, maybe people are a little bit less this or that, but like there was just no evidence.
Yeah.
And that's not what this article is saying. just to.
No,
just to-
yeah, this is a completely different
this-
article.
That's
but
not
yeah.
what this article is
Yeah,
about.
right.
But I just want to make sure we at least all agree on that.
Yes, right.
And then go from there.
And it's always been something. D&D is devil worshippers, and then it was music, video
it was
games.
Kiss, it was Elvis.
People,
whatever,
yeah,
man,
exactly.
any
People
scam
like,
goes.
yeah, exactly. Elvis is fucking murdering her. Like that one fucking, what is it? Did the Dewey Cox story? And he's like, I wanna hold your hand, and like that guy's like, this is the devil's music. It's like that's exactly
like
what
it.
the fuck it's like, dude.
Sounds
it's
like the
so
devil.
like that. Like I can't believe I don't know.
But anyway, so Alex, go off the deep end.
That was I can't. That's what do you mean go off the deep end? That's it.
I don't know,
It's a
talk about the
conspiracy. You know, the government fucking runs everything. Money runs everything. The billionaires at the top are fucking paying everyone to just make us
Give
blind.
that man a flag.
They're like, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me tell you something
He's gonna
about
give himself a
let me
flag.
tell you something about America, boys, all right? Hold on a second. You know, these billionaires at the top, they're handing money down. They're paying Walmart. They're like, hey, Walmart, if you pull violent video games from the stores, you know everyone's going to fucking believe that violent video games actually cause violence. It's like, get the fuck out of here, you frog fucker. I don't want to hear any of that, all right? This is no one's going to care if they pull violent video games from Walmart because Walmart's not doing anything. They still sell guns, but they're not going to sell violent video games, but apparently that's false. So, you know, this is all for nothing. This is just stupid. And that's America in a nutshell, man. Video games. That's it.
So the article
Lobbying is a crime. It's a mess.
You feel better?
It's a mess. No, I don't. I feel much worse. This article, however, video games don't cause mass shootings. However, but gamer culture encourages hate.
Yeah, the writer, Brianna Wu, I believe is her name. She goes on to say that, you know, obviously video games don't cause violence, but the culture promotes a certain type of. It promotes these things pretty much. She cites things like Gamergate, threatening women in the industry of rape and murder, toxicity of communities against women and gay people. You know, anyone. Most of the time, it's people who aren't white that get picked on, but it's just about anyone. It goes on with like some widely covered examples, such as just a lot of people making videos and doing streams of them in Red Dead Online, hanging black people off of mountains or screaming at people who have a girl's voice, or berating people who are gay.
feeding the feminist to the alligator is a
feeding the feminist to the alligator. Then you go into things like you can get the things like swatting, DDoSing. She doesn't really go into that too much in the article. But the crux of it is that the games don't have the link to the violence. It's the people that form around them can promote a culture of it. They have the tendency to do stuff like that. And we constantly see that today with things like, even just most recently, like the Ooblets developer announced Epic Game Store exclusivity, and people were forging Discord messages to show that he was anti-Semitic. People were sending him and his wife death threats through DMs on Twitter, through emails, on Discord. Like, people just like go insane.
Yeah.
It's
wild.
Yeah.
You and I were talking a little bit about it, and I think a couple of the factors, like I was saying, is just like, I'm not saying boys will be boys because it's a terrible, terrible excuse, but teenagers are not good people sometimes.
No, they're not.
They don't know who they are. They don't know true consequences to their actions. They don't understand. They don't understand. And I used to, not that I was a piece of shit. When in video games, I always go out of my way to help people rather than hurt people. I will never be the first person to start talking shit to someone in a game just to get a rise out of them. I've never been that person. I was telling Mike, I have hacked, though, in Counter-Strike. Just because the thrill of what was the word I used, Mike? It's like the thrill of
If you can get away with it.
If you can get away with it, exactly. Like, it's not even like I was hacking to pretend I was a good player. That's not what I cared about. I just wanted to see if I can get away with it. And while I'm secretly doing these things, I'm getting all giddy. Now the tools out there, and people have become insensitized to certain shit. The tools out there with Twitter, people go off the fucking deep end, dude. And
Yeah.
death threats are not okay, but these people think it's anonymous and they just want to cause someone to feel something so that they feel important. And it's a mess. It really is.
It's sad. I remember when I was a kid.
Sorry, Tom. The worst part is it reflects back on us too. It makes us look bad. Every single community, the fucking knitting community, I'm sure, has terrible people in it. But like, for some reason, the bad apples we have in the gaming community are just so much worse than any other bad apples of another community.
Yeah.
It's true. I was gonna say, I remember back when I got my first Xbox Live headset, playing Call of Duty or Ghost Recon. That was like the first game, was Ghost Recon and Unreal Championship. And like everyone was just like so friendly and everybody was so happy to be playing video games. And I don't know what the fuck happened, man. Mm-hmm. But like I remember I think it was around the time of Halo 3. It was Xbox 360 that things just had become different, and I realized that if I was going to keep playing video games online, I would just have to never talk to anybody who plays anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I only, like, back then, way back then, and to this day, like, even though I'm a much older and more mature person, and even though I could handle it, I would have no enjoyment in listening to that person say those things. So it's pretty bad, and it's not. I always want, whenever I read an article, especially by the folks who are very alarmist about this stuff, I always want to try to refute it, because I'm always trying to defend myself. Like, it's my behavior that's being attacked.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say, okay, it's not. And just because there is a problem, it doesn't mean that it's most gamers. It just means that it's probably more gamers than it should be, is what you end up running into.
Right. Yes.
And it's kind of like, I don't know what you do about it. I don't know how you fix it. I have no idea.
I know. Like, where do you start? I was thinking that same thing. Like, I know in the article, she's talking about like how video games are made and what we glorify and what we don't. This is clearly this article right here that everyone can see.
Yeah, you can see it easily.
But I forgot where I was going.
Sometimes they make it sound like they are talking about all gamers. And that's where I get a little upset, because clearly it's not all of us. I mean, obviously,
a very large portion of us isn't the case. Like, that's not it.
It's like,
it's just,
it's going to be like 80%, 90% of gamers. But like normally when it comes to that, it's like it should be like a 99.99999%. But just like turning it, like just play Call of Duty and turn on your headset, and it's not 99.999%. It's like 90, because there's like one guy in every match who's awful.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
That's just like, I should be able to play video games with my headset on. I should be able to talk to people. People just shouldn't be so shitty.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's causing it. I think it's a bunch of factors. I don't know the first steps to take to stop it. That's what I was saying. Is like they say that we glorify certain things in video games, and we should be more diverse. I don't know if that's an answer. I mean, it's good.
I don't think that's the answer.
It's not bad, but I don't think introducing that stuff, because it's not like these people. It's not like they're ignorant. It's just that they're trying to get a rise out of people. It's like it's like when you get told not to do something as a kid, that's what you want to do. That's what the case is that they see all these people. Oh, all right, man. Like, they see these people, getting riled up about toxicity, so then they go, well, I can be toxic and get that same reaction. It's a mess.
They're not bad people, because I've had like multiple friends who I know for a fact are good people who engaged in that
same
behavior.
Yeah, I was telling them too. Yeah,
and they like really enjoyed the reaction out of the person on the other side of the headset, and it always made me uncomfortable. But maybe it's just because I'm a big pussy. I don't know. But
remember you walked away from the table because that terrible waiter at PAX.
Remember that.
You were dressed as Mario.
I don't recall. I have a memory of a goldfish. But it's not that they're bad people. I think it's just that some people don't. I guess they just don't like they don't think through the consequences of their actions
They
and what
don't.
it will actually mean to the person on the other side of the
Yeah, they don't give a
the
shit.
headset.
Yeah.
And I guess okay, so there's always the argument. Well, it's their right to say that, and of course it is. But the thing is, it's Microsoft doesn't have to necessarily respect your rights to free speech.
Yeah.
So so I can't remember who it was. I think it was Phil Spencer. It was Phil Spencer.
Of course he did.
Who,
Well,
who
hold on a
came
second.
under
I got you.
he
I got
came
you.
under fire a while ago for saying that Xbox is not a free speech platform. And I remember when I saw that headline, I knew there were certain folks who were going to lose their shit over it. And I'm like, please don't. Like, please leave
Really?
him alone. Like, yeah, I'm like, please leave him alone because he's right. It's not. It's a club. It's a club. And in a club, you have a code of conduct. You have to act a certain way to be in the club. That's the way to look at it. And yeah, they lost their shit and they're like boycott Xbox, and these are kind of the worst of them, it's beyond the pale. It's like
It is, yeah.
the reality is in the middle, and so like in that article there's some stuff said that I have issue with, and then not that much, but there's some things said that kind of make it seem like it's a sweeping generalization. It's all gamers, and that it comes from a place of racism. It comes from a place of intolerance. It comes from a place of sexism. And I think where it comes from, for at least the people whom I've seen do it, it's not from those places. It's from...
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's ignorance. I think they know exactly what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, and they're trying to, get a rise out of people. And there's going to be some. And anyway, I don't want to get into all the nuance of it, but at the end of the day, there's a problem, and it's sad, and I wish that people were a little bit friendlier online, and I don't know how I fix it.
At the end of the day, be nice to each other.
Yeah, just be great.
Love
to
one
each other,
another.
man. Just
Make little kissies.
Just make little. Next match you join in an online match, go, hey fellas.
Life is hard and shitty.
Any ladies on here want to be respected?
Yeah. Life
Don't
is hard
say
and
that.
shitty, man.
Don't say that.
Please don't ever say that. Any ladies on here want to be respected?
Hey, I do it all the
Was
time.
that Mr. Beast that did that? Was that his name, Mr. Beast?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Oh, I thought that's where you got it from. There's like this YouTuber. He just goes around, or Twitch streamer, and he just goes around. He gives money to people, and he would just like drop into all of these.
Yeah, I
he'd
feel
be
like I
"You
remember
want to be
reading about that.
respected?" And he would like just drop them like.
I've seen his name a few times. So I don't know anything about him.
It was just like one of the many bits that he does, because he constantly like his whole thing is just giving money away to
That's
people.
funny.
So, and it is, and people keep giving him money to give away to other people.
That's awesome.
So like his, and I watched an interview with him, and like he was like, yeah, I always actually spent down to zero. Like people would, there were times where I had like $100,000, and I was just so confident I would get it back that I gave away $100,000.
Oh my god.
And it worked.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of which, any donations that you make to the channel, 50% of it goes to charity.
We'll give
so,
away.
We're giving it all away, and by all I mean 50%. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock.
Right, awesome.
We should wrap it up here. I think that's
I
it.
think that was the last article.
Yeah, we're at articles.
We
yeah.
did it. We did all the articles.
We did it.
All right, sweet, good talks.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, bye.
I should have just cut the stream right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back, obviously, Thursday. Were you going to attempt to do a little something different Thursday?
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, okay. Might be doing a little something different Thursday, so if you want to keep tuned, and you can come in and watch us, and it'll be fun.
We're going to
Have
be
a
doing
good
something
time.
different. You
It's
can watch us.
different. It's like we do every Thursday. We do something, but this time it's something else.
I mean, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
That's
Alright,
how it works. We just leave it a mystery.
maybe we won't even stream Thursday. Maybe it'll just be Tom
That is a
nervously
little
sitting
bit
in a chair.
I mean, that's the end goal, yeah.
And I actually have just a cup with a string on it, so I can't actually talk to anybody.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's all for the ProJuice. I'm Alex.
And I'm Tom.